Fox is now officially divorced from
Yeah!
freeing her up to wed her fiance, Machine Gun Kelly.
I can't wait for that.
All is right in the world again.
The first night the cops show up is going to be my favorite.
According to TMZ, a judge signed off on the former couple's.
God, I love this song.
Is this Andy Williams?
Yeah, I think it is, Preston.
Oh, yeah.
It's John Barry, who wrote all the James Bond music, wrote this.
A judge signed off on the former couple's divorce settlement on Tuesday. The outlet also reported that the actress will also have her legal name reverted back to Fox from Megan Green. I never knew it was Megan Green.
It's about little lion cubs, Preston.
Fox and... Are you on Born Free
I'm
again?
still stuck on it, man.
Wait, is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Sorry, Preston.
You guys let me know when you're ready, and I'll continue.
We are done.
We're done. We're done.
Fox and Green
Preston doesn't like lions, I guess.
were married in 2000. They're really dangerous, dude.
The Cubs are cute, though.
Yeah.
Fox and Green were married in 2010.
Listen, let's go out for drinks later and discuss this.
And they have their first two children before she filed for divorce in 2015. They reconciled in 2016. They had their third child, Journey, before splitting again in 2019. And in November 2020, Fox filed for divorce from Green, and it was finalized in October of 2021, and now it is officially over, and Nick just pulled up a picture of her grabbing her boobs.
That's how she's celebrating.
I guess that's her latest Instagram post.
To celebrate this wonderful occasion, I'm going to finger myself.
Wow.
Oh, my God!
Jesus Christ.
Is anyone here?
Wow. I don't know what happens there.
He means point herself out.
Exactly. Oh, Jesus, Kathy.
God, Kathy, get your mind out of the gutter. You're disgusting.
Almighty.
Kathy, you're so
Always
gross.
the worst. Haven't you ever seen someone take their thumb and go, it's me?
Oh, okay.
This guy.
Who got divorced?
Well, then,
me.
This guy.
She thumbed herself then. Is what you're
Exactly,
saying.
but it's a finger.
It's a finger.
I guess you're right.
Pete Davidson is leaving Staten Island behind.
What?
During an interview with NBC on Tuesday, the Saturday Night Live star revealed, I am moving to Brooklyn. I am very excited. I love Staten Island, but it takes too long to get over the bridge. However, a source told the New York Post that the move is not yet set in stone. An insider said Pete is still debating whether or not to take the Brooklyn pad. The issue is security. The place does not have a doorman. He's also considering Chelsea, but there have been security issues. Even so, after Kanye's comments, so many people are even showing up to his mom's house. So he's having
That's where he's been
problems.
living, and he moved out. Okay. Staten Island is...
It's Staten Island.
It's Staten Island.
Yeah,
Staten Island is the way you get to New York or flee New York.
Right.
Caitlyn Jenner revealed yesterday that she has already met her newest grandson, and he and
It's adorable.
Kylie Jenner are doing well. Does Caitlyn do like baby talk?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Boogie, bodega, boogo, bo, bo. The thing is, Preston, he won't take my nipple.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you're not the mom,
Fine.
so.
It's a real kick in the nuts.
So Caitlyn told Good Morning
Go,
Brit.
J, boogie, googie, booby. Look at your little chubby cheeks. You like it, Gum Gum?
She told Good Morning Britain, I have met him. The family
He's
is
very small.
the family is growing. Kylie had her little boy.
I'm growing right now.
Oh, my God.
What? That's a weird thing to say about your grandchild. I met him.
Yeah, I know. Pleased to meet you.
Yeah.
Didn't have much to say.
The Olympian added, but they're great. Kylie's doing great. Everybody's doing
He's great.
good.
Leave me alone.
The newest addition to the family
How did you get in this bathroom?
was born on the 2nd and is Caitlyn's 19th grandchild and Kylie's second child. Wow, I didn't know Caitlyn now had 19.
That's
grandkids.
crazy.
Yeah.
And Caitlin, I should say, because Bruce was in effect for some, but she says legitimately she has trouble remembering the names. Like it's a nightmare.
Sure.
Birthday time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of babies, Quentin Tarantino and his wife Daniela Pick are expecting their second child together. Rep for the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood director confirmed the pregnancy to E! News on Wednesday. The announcement comes 2 years after the couple welcomed their son, Leo, in February of 2020. So they're expanding.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is, I'll say it, my favorite Quentin Tarantino movie.
No kidding.
It's so freaking good. And this thing where he set this premature wrap-up to his career. Keep making movies, man. You make good movies.
Yep.
Yeah, is it over? I mean, is it really over?
Well, we'll see. I don't know. He seems fairly...
Nothing is over!
Right, it's true, yeah. He seems resolute when he does these things.
Actor Patrick Wilson recently admitted that he may have eaten dog poop.
Oh, my God.
All right.
Yep.
Wow.
May have?
Do I have your attention?
Yeah. Is that what comes out of a dog's butt? Because I think I did.
In a new print interview with Empire Magazine, the Conjuring star was asked, "What's the worst thing you've ever put in your mouth?" And he said, he owns 3 dogs. He said, "It's probably dog crap." He said, "I'm sure in my quest to pick up dog crap that I have licked the bag to open the bag.
Oh, jeez.
And then it's on my hand, and I have dog crap in there, too." So he said at one time or another, it's probably
Man, he's
happened.
really trying to work on that sex symbol thing.
Remember when you got cat poop in your nose?
In my nose.
It was one of my favorite
Kathy,
stories.
I was thinking about it at this while I was reading this story.
Oh, my God.
So disgusting.
So as I
Oh,
recall,
my God.
you were sitting on the couch stroking your cat.
Yep.
Oh, I
Your
love
cat
you.
had crap on its tail or
I
something.
didn't know on his hindquarters
Yeah.
there. It had like diarrhea or something, and I didn't know. And I'm petting, and I went to kind of go itch my nose, and my thumb went a little bit up inside my nostril,
Oh, my God.
and
Dear God.
there was
Kill me now.
crap. There was cat crap. It went up in my nose, and I told you guys I snorted water.
Yeah.
I went to the sink. I turned it on immediately, and I'm just like, I'm like inhaling water through my nose, and it was just disgusting.
I'm thinking of you like Lucy in the Charlie Brown. Oh, dog germs, dog germs.
Man.
I don't like that story.
Yeah, that's a bad story.
Well, what's worse, breathing it or eating it?
Oh,
Breathing
man.
it?
Because you had it jammed up your nose.
Yeah. It's just horrible. All right, how about this? This is horrible, too. Cheer star, not Cheers.
Yeah.
Cheer
yeah.
star. Jerry Harris is expected to plead guilty in a federal child pornography case alleging that he solicited sex from minors at cheerleading competitions.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. According to court records obtained by the Chicago Tribune, a change of plea hearing was scheduled for the former Navarro College on Thursday in front of U.S. District Judge Manish Shah, and it was not clear Wednesday which charges a 22-year-old media personality planned to plead guilty to or whether he had reached a plea deal with prosecutors. So that is expected. We will see. Spotify isn't the only streaming service to face a dispute with comedians. The estates of Robin Williams and George Carlin have sued SiriusXM's Pandora for allegedly streaming the comedy legend's jokes without full licenses. The late comedian's representatives claim that Pandora only had the license to stream the recordings, not the jokes themselves, and it supposedly doesn't have any copyright. I don't understand
how do they
that,
distinguish that?
really. I don't understand it.
Because if you're airing the bits, you're airing the jokes.
Yeah, Williams' estate wants $4.1 million in damages for copyright infringement. Carlin's is seeking $8.4 million. Andrew Dice Clay, Bill Engvall, and Ron White have also made complaints, asserting that Pandora hasn't provided a fraction of a penny for their work. The estates claim Pandora confessed to having improper licenses in SEC filings between 2011 and 2017, predating their acquisition, the SiriusXM acquisition, and in those filings, the service warned investors it could guarantee the company would avoid additional licensing costs from rights groups for spoken word comedy. So anyhow, Pandora isn't a stranger to license battles. It paid $90 million in 2015 to settle a fight over allegations it used a loophole to play pre-1972 songs without paying labels, and was sued in 2019 for supposedly displaying lyrics from Rage Against the Machine and Tom Petty without permission.
Oh, okay.
But the comedy licensing problems haven't had a firm test in court, and the outcome of this case could affect how Spotify and other services pay comedians for their work.
Yes.
So it could set precedents.
I was wondering because, for example, when I'll use Apple Music and I'll use Amazon. I don't use Spotify or I don't use Pandora. You know, when I'm just saying, okay, play something for me.
Right.
If I'm in that kind of mood. when I ask to hear like a comedian like Greg Giraldo, it will respond back to me as if it's playing a song. And I wonder if they in the algorithm they don't have any delineation in between that and who is actually getting screwed out of money from this, because think of all that's instantly accessible.
Yeah, I use YouTube, so there's probably not a whole lot of licensing when it comes to recycling old comedy bits on YouTube, right? Like maybe Comedy Central gets a take of it every now and then.
Possibly, yeah. Somewhere somebody's getting screwed.
Like if I want to watch an old Norm Macdonald bit or whatever, that's where I go for it. So yeah, who knows?
Yeah. I love this story. The operators of the theme park Dollywood are making sure that the park's employees can further their education without taking a financial hit or racking up massive amounts of debt. Eugene Naughton, president of Dollywood Company, announced this week that the company's foundation will pay 100% of employees' tuition, fees, and books at 30 partner schools.
That's amazing.
Employees can work toward a diploma, degree, or certificate in programs such as business administration, culinary finance, technology, and marketing. An additional 150 fields, including hospitality, engineering, human resources, and art design, will get partial funding of up to $5,200 a year.
It's great.
And it's not just current employees. The benefits kick in on the first day of employment. The program will be piloted by Dolly Parton's operating partner, Hershend Enterprises, through its Grow You program. The program kicks off on the 24th of this month and will be for all seasonal, part-time, and full-time employees at Dollywood Parks and Resorts. And by the way, that means it's available for workers at 25 different locations operated by Hershend Enterprises. So that includes Pink Adventure Tours in Tennessee, Arizona, and Nevada, Wild Adventures in Georgia, Adventure Aquarium in New Jersey. The Adventure Aquarium. Silver Dollar City in Missouri, Kentucky Kingdom, and Newport Aquarium, both of which are located in Kentucky as well.
That is amazing, especially for part-time.
Yeah.
By the way, I'd love to go to Dollywood.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to check it out. And apparently the rides are pretty badass from what I've heard.
They are competitive.
You said Pink Adventures, and I saw when I was in Sedona, when I was hiking there, they had like these pink Jeeps.
They're all pink on the inside.
Well, no, actually, they were pink on the outside, Steve. I don't know what the color the Jeeps were on the inside, but yeah, I saw those there. I had no idea that had any association.
Where were you?
In Sedona, Arizona.
Yeah. So that's where they're located. Yeah. So, and Adventure Aquarium. That's awesome. So if you work there, make sure you look into that offering, because that's pretty damn generous. With Sony and Marvel Studios continuing to expand on their shared Spider-Verse, Hollywood star Russell Crowe has now joined the cast of the upcoming Spider-Man spinoff Kraven the Hunter. For now, details revolving around Crowe's role remain scarce, but the Gladiator actor will be joining MCU veteran Aaron Taylor Johnson, who will move on from his Quicksilver roles in Avengers Age of Ultron to become the titular villain in the new film. Production is rumored to begin in March in the UK. Most notably, it is also not Crowe's first appearance in the Marvel multiverse. He recently finished shooting Thor, Love, and Thunder, and he is going to be portraying Zeus in that.
So there are a couple of actors who have jumped around between in the MCU. Yeah, Chris Evans was originally Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
And then Captain America.
And also Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the guy who played the other Quicksilver, the other...
who was on...
who was in Mayor of Easttown.
Come on, let's do this, guys.
Evan WandaVision.
Evan Peters.
Evan Peters,
There we
thank
go.
you.
Yeah.
Peter North.
So he's bounced
Evan Peter
around
North.
a bit too. Yeah. Captain Sploosh.
Quick squirter.
Kraven the Hunter will be the third Spider-Man villain Sony and Marvel have introduced in its spin-off universe, with Tom Hardy's Venom already having released 2 films, Jared Leto's Morbius arriving soon despite numerous delays. Joining the Spider-Verse ensemble will soon also be Dakota Johnson in a standalone Madam Web film, which was just announced last week.
Are you familiar with Madam Web?
No idea. Never heard. I'm not familiar with Kraven the Hunter either. Yeah.
Jace gives me all this information. He's like, they're coming out with a new this or a new that. And I go, oh, cool. And he says, why do you always just say, oh, cool? I'm like, because I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, my God.
He gave you a hard time in your response?
Oh, yeah, because he knows that I don't really like that's
Are you
my,
saying it sarcastically?
No, no.
Oh, cool.
You're
No, no,
trying
no,
to connect.
I'm having a
You're
conversation with him, but he's
Okay.
saying you're not engaging with me, and
Yeah.
I'm trying to nicely say I don't because I don't really know about what you're
Because I
telling me
don't
about.
like any of this. Now, if you want to talk succulents, let's go.
You want to put together a planter?
Yeah.
Come with mommy.
Steve, I saw this last night. The trailer for Blumhouse Productions' remake of Stephen King's Firestarter came out yesterday.
What do you think?
I think I'm really glad they're making it again. I read the book about a year ago, and it is awesome. I love the novel.
I enjoyed the movie with Drew Barrymore. I thought it was good. When you were reading the book again, you were giving me all sorts of plot things. I was like, why didn't they put that in the movie?
Yeah.
Why did they do that?
So Charlie is the character, is the little girl, and they kind of play down her power. Her powers are apparently almost limitless,
Like
or
global.
can be. Yeah,
Could
like
destroy the planet.
could destroy the planet. Like
Yeah.
almost like Jean
Right.
Grey's Phoenix.
Right. Is it a thick book?
No, it's an easy read.
Okay.
It's
Is it a
veiny, though.
thick book?
Oh my God.
It's worth reading. It's
Yeah.
really, really good.
Well, I
and
was just wondering if there was way more to the story that lends itself to.
well, there's this government group called the Shop with all these mysterious government and military ties to it,
And they bad.
and they focus in on the psychic abilities of people, and it's pretty damn cool, man. I love that book.
And the George C. Scott character, who is this psychotic sort of assassin, sort of, and who's sort of quasi in love with her in a way and wants to kill her. It's a bizarre thing.
Yeah. So the update stars Zac Efron as Andy, the father of the little girl, and Firestarter is in theaters and streaming on Peacock May 13th. So that'll be coming out. It looks pretty good. And then finally, Disney CEO Bob Chappell announced during the company's earnings call on Wednesday that the next Star Wars series, Obi-Wan Kenobi, will premiere on May 25th. The Disney Plus series stars Ewan McGregor, reprising his role for the prequel trilogy, and Hayden Christensen is also expected to return. As
Yeah,
Darth Vader.
there have been set shots of them. I mean, it's he was the heart and soul of that trilogy. Ewan McGregor.
I might actually watch that one.
Yeah.
I haven't been into the Mandalorian or the
Mandalorian.
Boba Fett thing, but I would like to. I think I'd like to see. This.
I will tell you what they're doing with these shows is they are recooling them, giving them an edge, correcting mistakes. And I'm loving what they're doing. Again, as I've said before, I don't by default love everything Star Wars. There's a lot of stuff that I was always underwhelming and just didn't like at all.
But
they've been on a pretty good streak.
They are paying, listen, they're throwing us a little, some bones here and there, like, oh, baby Yoda.
Yeah.
Or like angry Chewbacca,
Right.
although Chewbacca was already pretty pissed off. But there was another
Hitman Chewbacca.
Hitman Chewbacca. There was another one where I mean, I didn't even notice it, but the people are paying very, very close special attention. You remember that rod when they were in the dumpster scene in The New Hope?
Yep.
Did you see this by any chance? All right.
No.
So the rod that he's Han Solo is using to try and keep the walls from coming in.
It bends.
It bends. It showed up in the last episode of the. Boba
So
Fett.
these are Easter eggs.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Tiny
All right,
little.
so they're having fun with that
Yeah.
stuff. All right, we're ready to roll the clips. Let's do this. New Netflix miniseries follows the real story of a Russian fraudster, Anna Sorokin, who posed as a European heiress to scam her way through Manhattan high society in Inventing Anna. And in this clip, actress Julia Garner talks about meeting Sorkin and gaining an understanding for how she cleverly established her name. Here we go.
I knew she was going to be charming, but how bubbly and charming and likable she was, and how she went from darkness to lightness like so quick in a matter of seconds. And then it all kind of came together and was like, well, that's why people were gravitated towards her.
Inventing Anna premieres on Netflix Friday. Here's the next clip for you. Two newly dumped 30-somethings team up to sabotage their exes' new relationships and win them back for good in the hilarious new comedy, I Want You Back. And here comedians Jenny Slate and Charlie Day talk about their real-life friendship they brought to their characters' chemistry. Here it is.
We really enjoy each other's company, and I do think you can feel that truth
I think so too.
of our friendship and just like admiration for each other. I think that is there in the movie.
But I feel like we didn't have to bring a lot beyond what was on the script.
No.
I'm trying to remember, but I don't really remember improving much at all.
Yeah.
I Want You Back is in theaters on Friday, by the way, and that's it. That's all I got for you. Your report.
That's more than enough.
All right, we're going to take a break because we got some guests coming up today. Comedian Tammy Pescatelli is going to be at Healing Comedy Club. We'll spend some time with her. And also Danny Briere, new position with the Flyers. We're going to check in with him around 9 or so. We'll be back in a moment. Stay with us this morning.
Preston and Steve.
On 93.3 WMMR.
What's new?
Glad you asked. Red Hot Chili Peppers. Aaron Jones. Nita Strauss with David Draymond.
New music, more of everything that rocks.
On 93.3 WMMR.
Everyone loves winning big cash playing their favorite casino game, right? But if you're a person like me,
And believe it or not, it's from Cosmos, from Cosmopolitan Magazine.
That's all we read.
The most popular horror movie the year you were born.
Ooh, okay.
And this was kind of a bitch slap to you emotionally, wasn't it, Preston?
It starts 2 years after I was born.
Oh, man.
Yeah, there's a fire drill.
We have a flashing strobe in the studio, that's why. 1991 was Silence of the Lambs.
Yes.
I don't consider it a horror movie, but many do. So it was more suspense and
Thriller.
And thriller, yeah, exactly.
Thriller. Scary. Pleasure to meet you, Dr. Lecter. I'll be working closely with you.
Oh no!
Oh my God! Let me out! Let me out!
What's the problem?
Let me out of here!
They finally found the thing that broke Lecter.
Just found your great cellmate.
Yeah.
Dr. Lecter.
Holy Jesus!
Ricky, we're going to become fast friends.
Oh my God! What are you?
He's pounding on the glass.
Let me out! He's trying to get to that opening where they put the food.
Why? Wait, what's wrong? I'm going to let my gloves dry out here on the end of the bed.
You didn't want to play quid pro quo with him?
Nothing, nah.
Yeah.
I got a better game, Twister.
Oh my God. Well, 1991, it was the #1 horror film.
Let's play Pictionary.
1993. All right, here you go again. 1993. But I guess it would all depend on what was out that year. Go ahead. You want to guess?
You're not going to say Jurassic Park, are you?
No.
Okay.
No. But it was Fire in the Sky.
Wait, what was 92?
Did I skip 92?
I think so.
Turner and Hooch.
It's not on here. The Mystery Year, 1992.
What? They just skipped it?
Yeah, that's interesting.
It was a movie called Hannibal and Michael.
Oh,
let me out! What is that music? Oh no! Oh, you lead a deranged life.
Well, Candyman.
I once ate a census taker's liver with some fava beans and Chianti. I once had a Boy Scout Jamboree party at my house the entire weekend. Holy Christ. And they tasted good.
Oh, my God.
I sauteed them with Jesus juice. I change diapers on my monkey every day.
Oh,
Holy Christ. And I piss in bottles and leave them around the house. And my nose comes off. Get me out of here!
I mean,
I'm 40 years old and I have parties for 9-year-old boys. Holy Jesus!
Why? Let me out!
Oh, my God.
You have such fun.
Can you do that list again? Because seriously, when you list it like that, oh my God.
Hey, Blamas, I change the diaper on my monkey every day. I piss in bottles. I have an entire staircase as a tribute to Home Alone. I bounce Emmanuel Lewis up and down on my lap all throughout every award show.
Oh.
I drink Jesus juice. My nose comes off. I used to be black. And I made my kids wear Mardi Gras masks. And have a train, but a real one.
Lecter admits everything. He just
I will tell you right now how you can get in touch with Buffalo Bill. I have a dress.
I have his whole address.
Longitude and latitude.
Oh, God. Oh, man.
Hear me out.
Nice to meet you, Dr. Lecter. Oh, my God.
We're going to be good friends.
Corn has launched its new coffee brand called Corn Coffee.
Corn Coffee.
Yes.
It's a great name.
Corn Coffee.
If you like the driven rock of corn, you'll love their coffee.
Corn personally curated the creation of Corn Coffee.
Yeah, that's good.
Let's see how many K sounds I can put in there. Corn personally curated the creation of Corn Coffee, a process that saw the band members tasting multiple variations for ultimately selecting the perfect roast and blend.
Yeah, that one.
Each bag of Corn Coffee will feature a special message from the band, which reads, after almost 25 years of touring, making records, and playing in front of all of our amazing fans,
we still drink coffee.
One thing has remained a constant in our daily routine.
Lattes!
I was not expecting that.
I know.
Lattes! No, it says coffee. The ritual, the brew, the aroma. And most importantly, that very first cup every morning that sets the tone is something that we look forward to every day.
Well, this is interesting. We're actually watching footage of them sampling the various brews.
Yeah. It says, because of our passion, we've gotten together with a roaster and handcrafted our very own blend, coffee. It's called Corn Coffee.
Next up, Corn Licorice.
Corn recently began recording its new album in Nashville, Tennessee, by the way, but now they have Corn Coffee.
That's part of waking up is corn coffee in your cup.
That's right. Yeah, cup. This is...
cup.
This,
always at the ready.
Yeah, a couple.
We need to have Nick coffee or something like that.
Yeah.
Have a cup. Have a couple.
This is our new blend. It's called Nanapuya.
From the hills of Nanapia.
Yeah. Brought down by mules every day at 2 o'clock after the afternoon rain. The beans are enriched with monkey urine.
If only we had a coffee sponsor to do this for us.
I know.
Yeah.
Right?
Nanapuya.
That's good.
Have a cup.
Yeah, a cup.
God. Or no, the question would be, would you like some?
Yeah, a cup.
No, not Nanapuya. Yeah, cup.
Come on. Yeah, a cup. That'd be ridiculous.
Do you want a thermos or a cup?
Yeah, a cup.
Okay.
Oh, one Nanapuya for table 7.
Okay.
What is that one?
That's you. That's Mini Wookie. That's Nick. So you ask, have you decided what you like, sir?
Nanapuya.
Nanapuya.
Nanapuya. I don't remember Mini Wookie.
All right. Anyhow, Corn has coffee.
Corn coffee.
It's almost an embarrassment that we live in this city and that we don't. You know, I think you're right, though, Preston. Stop and check it out, at least to some degree.
Why groups of people decided that it would be a good idea to memorialize this person in that form.
Also, don't hesitate now and then to throw a rope around on it and attach to your boat hitch.
That why is intriguing to me as well. Like, what the hell is the point of dragging a statue into the river?
But, when I heard the news report it this morning, they reported it as if, here we go again. Now, there was only one other incident, but... Yeah.
There's a lot of statues being pulled down for various reasons, where you had down south with the Confederate statues and things of that nature. And if they believe, there's it's kind of the thing. But this thing seemed like, what's that about?
Yeah. Hey, what did Rizzo do that was so great that he gets a statue?
He was just a really popular mayor. I mean, he was larger than life in a bunch of different ways in stature.
Yeah.
And so because of his tactics, he was well known. He left his mark, good and bad, and deserved a statue as a result.
Yeah.
You're a real crumb bum.
And he gave us
If that, honestly, I would give him a statue just for that.
Crumb bum?
I'll take you out back, both ears.
Yeah.
My arms tied behind my back. Yeah. I'll pound you into the pavement, I will.
That whole audio, you look like a lush to me. He's telling the reporter.
Yeah. Would you care to talk to CBS? You look like a lush.
Maybe the Viking was the Nordic Frank Rizzo.
They were confronting him about.
You look like a lush to me. What's your story? I hit you with my shield. I'll take you out back and hit you with my shield.
Yeah. What are you?
You're a crumb bum.
You can't find it, Case?
I don't know. Yeah, let's
Here
try
you go,
this one.
Crumb Bum.
Crumb Bum, see Frank Rizzo.
It says Rizzo.
See Crumb Bum.
This says call Stan Bowman. Here we go.
Yeah, that's it.
Hey, Rizzo. Stan Borman from Channel 3 News. Could we...
How are you?
Fine, sir. How are you?
Good.
Could we talk with you for just a moment?
No, I'm busy.
You couldn't answer any of our questions?
I wouldn't talk to you under any condition.
Why is that, sir?
Forget it. Scram. Get out of here.
Sir,
Scram. Hit the road.
Scram.
You lush ya. Why?
Stand up, please.
Get away from me. I'm now a private citizen.
Yes,
you
sir.
get away from me.
We're allowed to be on the streets, sir.
I don't want to talk to you. Get away from me.
How do you feel about the security guards
Get
being
away
taken off
from
of you, sir?
Get away from me, or I'm going to throw you out in the middle of the street.
Gonna throw you right out there.
Sir, one more question.
I'm telling you, get away from me.
You were the symbol of law and order in Philadelphia, sir, for many years. People looked
Get
up to
away
you and
from
respected
me.
you.
Look, creep, get out of here.
How could you justify your actions at our cameras last Monday in front of your
Get
house?
out. You're a creep.
We're a member of the media. We'd like
You're
to have an answer to our
You're a
question.
creep.
Why did you attack our cameras, sir?
Get it all. Don't miss any of it. You're a creep. Get away from me.
Would you answer the question?
Dude, he had great pipes.
He really
He
did.
Listen to his voice. Get away from me. He could do movie trailers.
This weekend at the Community Cinema Pucks.
You're a creep. Get away from me.
Would you answer the question?
You know, you hide behind that press card.
I'm not hiding behind anything, sir. I just wanted to get some
I'll
answers.
tell you what to do. There's a gang of yous here. There's enough of you here. By myself, I'll take yous physically.
Well, I'm not asking you to take me physically.
Well, get away from me.
Well, sir, I'm on the public street. I should be authorized to be here.
I'll break it off.
I'll break it off.
I'll break it
Physically and mentally.
Yeah.
I'll get inside your brain.
This is after he was mayor. Yeah. You know, you think he'd be happy in retirement. but-
Nah, he didn't care.
Big dude, though.
Yeah.
You see him next to the reporter. He's a big dude.
Yep.
Head, get away from me.
I think the
was a cop.
statue.
He
Yeah,
was
the
a cop,
statue's
right?
1-to-1 scale.
Yeah,
I'll break it over your head.
yeah. I'll break it over your head. Hang on. Let's go back.
I'll break it over your head. Get away from me, you crumb. That's a challenge, except I'll put my dog away and I'll come back. And you got 1, 2, 3. And I'll do
1,
it
2,
along
3.
Yeah.
Follow me.
Yeah.
Let me just put Fifi back in the house. Come on, Fifi, heel.
It is kind of a little dog, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
with 3.
No?
No.
I can't see the dog. Oh,
No,
no,
it's a
I was
big
wrong.
dog.
I was
Yeah.
incorrect. I thought he had a little poodle with him.
Daddy loves you.
Yeah.
Daddy loves you. Give me love monster kisses.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna come
Yeah,
back
so
and kill
we
you.
were talking earlier in the entertainment report about Bob Saget, and his cause of death was released. And apparently, at some point that evening, he had hit his head and thought he was okay. They didn't think much of it. I mean, it probably hurt, but
We've all
after
had that, though, you know?
Sure, yeah. You hit your noggin and
Damn, yeah, okay.
and he went to bed, and apparently some type of a brain bleed or something along those lines, and he passed away while he was asleep. Didn't think much of it. It's weird, man. And it leads to the conversation of I thought what I did was no big deal, and it turned out to be a really big deal.
Well, it's like a friend of mine broke his arm and had no idea he had done it, you know.
Well, there was an example. There was this guy. He was a bartender. Used to work at Maui.
Man.
Joe, right?
Yeah, Joe C.
And
I remember you
Joe
telling
had, had jumped out of a window.
Yeah.
Okay, and hurt his leg. And I don't remember what to the extent was it he hurt
He
his
like
leg.
sprained his ankle. That was
Yeah,
kind
something
of it.
like that.
Mhm.
And like a week or two later, or something like
And
that.
It was days, but either way, like,
Okay.
yeah.
A blood clot had formed, went through his system,
God damn.
and killed him.
Ah.
Killed him.
I love that
And
guy.
he was a great guy.
Yeah.
But I mean, just the fact that it was a little leg injury,
A
Yeah.
twisted
Like-
ankle.
like
a
nothing much
twisted
to it.
ankle.
Yeah,
Like,
it's wild.
yeah.
And I know for sure that I've had at least 2 concussions in my life. One was diagnosed. The other one, I just know that
You just
I had
know,
a
yeah.
concussion. Yeah, I was.
Did you do all the protocol?
One was I was a kid, and I played football when I was a kid for the YMCA, and had 2 head-to-head hits. This kid just took me out. I literally blacked out for a moment.
Oh my gosh!
I saw stars. I saw these bright yellow stars, and I went home after that, and I puked for hours. I threw up. I had this just mind-numbing headache.
That's classic.
And then another time, I had a motorcycle accident. I was riding my dirt bike, and I went up over this ramp, and while I was going up in the air, I actually flipped backwards and upside down, and I fell off, and the motorcycle landed on top of me. I blanked out. I don't even remember getting hit by the motorcycle or falling or anything like that. I went to the doctor, and they said I'd suffered a concussion from that.
Yeah.
But beyond that, it didn't ever occur to me that it could go really, really bad, like it did with
I wonder
with Bob.
I mean, also, what kind? You're by yourself in a hotel room. Now, I've had it happen many times, and I forget that if I kind of skip down the basement steps, I'm going to hit my head, and you forget, because I'm a moron.
Well, he had done a gig. It was late.
Right.
Who knows how he hit his head?
Yeah,
and
how
then
would
after
that
it's like,
happen?
oh man, I'm just going to go to bed.
Yeah.
And
and if you feel okay,
Yeah.
you're not thinking in your mind like, oh my gosh, I need to rush to the hospital. Like
Right.
maybe he had a headache from hitting his head or whatever. You think, okay, I'm just going to lay down and go to bed.
And you know what? When you're a kid, you don't have you have nothing to reference your pain to, right? So that's how you can go for days with a broken bone and not really know. I had broken 2 bones 2 years in a row, and I had walked around with it for a few days before my mom was finally okay.
Where were the bones?
My hands.
Okay.
But the one day, I think I broke my hand on a Saturday, and then I didn't get the cast until Monday or Tuesday, and the same thing with the other one, and it was you're fine, you're fine, you're fine, you're fine.
You can't believe you're walking around that way.
Yeah. And then, as it turns out, I was like, see, I told you.
Damn you, woman.
to a much lesser extent, I cut my foot open one time. I stepped there. I was barefoot, and I had stepped down, and I stepped on part of a trash bag was sitting, and there was a piece of broken glass in it. I didn't know it. It cut the side of my foot. And we were in Los Angeles. We were flying back home the next day, and they're like, I think we know I need to go to the hospital. I'm like, no, it's just a bad cut. I'll be all right. And I woke up the next day, my foot, I was in agony.
Oh, my God.
And I'm like, we need to go to the hospital.
Right.
We go to the hospital, and they're like, we can't do anything for it now.
Too late.
You waited too long. We
Oh,
can't.
wow,
We can't
really?
stitch it up. I didn't know that was a thing.
Oh, right.
That
yeah,
you had.
okay.
That you need to get stitches. You need to get them pretty
Quickly.
quick.
Come into this room and pick your peg.
Oh man, and that was excruciatingly painful. So, guess who's on the line?
Oh, my God.
And by the way, we'll take your calls if you have stories you want to share. 215-263 WMMR. But the good doctor is calling in to give us some tips on all this. So please welcome from Penn Medicine and Fox 29, Dr. Mike Sirigliano. Dr. Mike.
Hey, guys, listen. So if you hear this story, there's a couple of things that we can learn from this. So in my humble opinion, I think he may have had a minor head trauma, maybe knocked his head on something, and probably suffered what's called a subdural hematoma. That's where you get some blood that starts to form inside your inside your skull. And the problem with that is that there's nowhere for the blood to go, and it can cause compression of the brain. And so even with mild trauma, even if you feel okay, if you have some risk factors, like was he on a blood thinner? Was he taking an aspirin? Was he did he have uncontrolled high blood pressure? Those are the things that can increase your risk of bleeding even after minor trauma, and it happens. And it can take a period of time before you start to have symptoms. So if anyone's out there, you hit your head and you start to develop a headache, like you, Preston, with that, man, we would have scanned you right away.
I know you would have done
9 ways till Sunday, is it?
So that's the way I think this played out. And if you remember, over 10 years ago, remember Natasha Richardson?
Yes.
She was skiing. She hit her head. She was fine. She didn't have a major head blow. And basically what ended up happening as time progressed, she had more of a headache. And then by the time she got to the hospital, she died. Wow. And that was a major problem. And obviously for her, but it's something you can prevent if you listen to your body.
Hey, let me ask you something, Dr. Mike. Let's say that you do go to the emergency room in time and they find, that you have this hematoma. What's the procedure for that? Do they have to get in there and like drain the blood?
Well, it depends on how significant the bleed is. The major trick here is to monitor it to see if it progresses. I had a patient who, this was maybe 15 years ago now, where he was mugged. He went to the ER, had a scan, was fine, discharged, and as time progressed over the next 12 hours, he called me and said, Dr. Mike, I'm having some headaches. We sent him back. He had a bleed. Now, if it is stable and it's a little bit of a bleed, many times they'll just watch you, especially in older folks. But in people who have progressive symptoms, that's a neurosurgical emergency, and we'll consult neurosurgery, and they can do something called a burr hole, where they actually release the pressure.
Yeah.
They're medicated. There's a lot of ways to deal with it, but it's an emergency. It's a medical emergency because you can herniate the part of your brain that is responsible for breathing and everything else. And I think that's what probably happened, unfortunately.
Mike, I have a question for you about burns because when I was in 8th grade, my friend's dad bought them a moped at a yard sale, and so we spent the entire Sunday riding this moped around, and I ended up burning my leg on the muffler, and it was a pretty nasty burn. And that was on Sunday, okay? I was fine on Sunday. Monday, it started getting a little bit more painful, and by Monday afternoon, I couldn't walk on it. And so eventually, my mom had taken me to the doctor's office. She didn't allow me to bring any crutches, and I literally had to crawl. She thought, you're just, amping it up. And I literally...
In fact, sit on the hood of the car.
I literally had to crawl from the waiting room to the doctor's office. And, I wasn't amping it up. I wasn't faking anything. Okay. But, what? So I'm just wondering why something like that would happen. The burn itself was, maybe half of the size of, your classic iPhone. And it ended up being, I think maybe 2nd or 3rd degree.
Mike, if I can just jump in here for a moment, my diagnosis would be an abusive mother.
No. Listen, who she was dealing with. It was me,
The first thing that came to my mind was a hickey. All right, you said muffler burn. It was from the muffler. Yeah. But look, you have to listen to your body, and this is a point for a lot of healthcare professionals. If you listen to the patient, they will tell you the diagnosis. So you know your body better than anyone, right, Casey? So if you're not feeling well, no matter what it is, and things are not getting better, then you need to reach out. And you do.
Yeah, but why couldn't I walk? That's my question. Is why couldn't I walk the next day?
Well, because inflammation and trauma to the skin with a burn, the body responds. And it doesn't happen immediately unless you have such a severe burn that it's gone through all the layers of your skin. I mean, but the thing is that a lot of people get into trouble, especially women, and this happens to be Heart Health Month, because women will ignore symptoms of fatigue or shortness of breath, or because they don't generally
that's an everyday thing.
They don't generally have the common symptoms of what men have when they're having a heart attack, and many women succumb to heart attacks because they're too busy taking care of men, and everybody else around.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Steve, but Dr. Mike, I was just reading about this thing called broken heart syndrome this morning, and how that is affecting women a lot lately.
Wow.
There's been an uprise in it, and it has to do with the stress levels.
Does it manifest in a heart incident?
Yeah, well, this is called Takotsubo cardiomyopathy.
Delicious.
Takotsubo, I think, is the Japanese term for like a squid or something.
Okay.
And basically, stress, significant amounts of stress, can lead to an enlargement of the heart. Now, the good news is it usually goes away, and it's not a heart attack. But this recent study that you mentioned is probably from all of the pandemic-related stress and COVID and all of that, and women in particular. Again, because they are the glue that keeps society going, in my humble opinion. All right, they get so much stress that they can lead to this condition. And again, I've seen a couple of people with this happen in my own practice.
Mike, can we get back to head injuries real quick? Especially dealing with Bob Saget, looking at what happened with him that night. I don't know if I would have done anything differently, right?
Yeah.
Like you bonk your head, you go to bed, and then unfortunately he never wakes up. So, as a doctor looking at a situation like that, is there anything that he could have done, should have done, would have done that would have made a difference at that point in the in his life?
Well, so I don't know his medical history. I don't know whether he was taking blood thinners. I don't know whether he had a poorly controlled high blood pressure. I don't know whether he had a history. So say, just for argument's sake, he had a history of bleeding problems, right? If you hit your head and you have a history of bleeding problems, or you're on blood thinners, that's a reason to call somebody and monitor. Now, he was alone. And one of the things that many experts say with head trauma is don't be alone. Because if you start to slur, you have a worsening headache or weakness or confusion or any drowsy, anything like that, and you're with people, you go and get checked out right away.
He
was alone.
My dad had to take blood thinners because he has AFib, and it was like you had to be really careful when you're on those.
For this very reason.
Yeah.
We've had. I spend a lot of time now discussing the pros and cons of baby aspirin. There was this huge study that just came out because a lot of people look at, take 2 aspirin and call me in the morning. Well, aspirin can lead to bleeding, and you have to have a good reason to be on it. You don't just take it because you think it's good for you. And so all of these things have consequences. A lot of supplements, ginkgo biloba, ginger, a lot of supplements can lead to an increased risk of bleeding. And so if you're one of those people and you hit your head, even if it's minor, and you have anything, like Preston, I mean, vomiting, you lost consciousness.
Yeah.
What the heck?
I know.
He didn't have you in his life at that time,
It was the
Mike.
1970s, man. It was.
They just established the world's first telegraph.
Here, they give you a Coca-Cola and send you on your way, and that's pretty much it.
Besides, his dad did backwoods
I mean, Mike,
surgery.
I had to go through my own head injuries last year, and like the stuff that we're still learning and the doctors are still learning on an almost daily basis is pretty fascinating. What they don't know is also pretty fascinating.
Well, the brain is this amazing organ, and it's so beautifully covered in lace-like covering.
Now you're turning me on now.
When you hit your head, even if you have titanium in front of it, you have this movement because the brain is surrounded by fluid.
Right.
All right, and you have this what's called a coup contra coup movement.
Coup contra coup.
Coup contra coup, and it can tear the vessels and lead to bleeding. That's why the brain and trauma to the head and concussions is such a big deal when it comes to professional sports. I mean, you see these hockey players, and I played hockey, and man, oh man, it's a tribute to the amazing ability of the body to be resilient. If you see what they go through.
Okay, excellent. Well, thank you, Dr. Mike. Always great advice. We appreciate it. And listen to what Dr. Mike has to say, because if you don't, someday you'll come home and you'll find your wife in bed with a guy named Rico Swan. You don't want that.
That's right.
We love you, Dr. Mike.
Love you guys. Love you.
We'll see you later. All right. Let's. We got a bunch of people on hold who want to share stories of, thought nothing of. Whatever happened to them, and it turns out, it was a big deal, something bad. So I'm going to go to Buzz, who's on the line. Yo, Buzz. Good morning.
Good morning, fellas.
Good morning, sir. All right, this happened to you?
No, actually, it happened to my father.
Okay.
So I didn't live at home. My sister didn't live at home, but my mom asked my father, "Can you give me a box or two out of the attic?" And it was a small space attic, so he went up there just like everyone else, bumped his head. No big deal. You rub it off, right? And then again, I would call my dad every day, and my mom would say, "Yeah, he's got a headache and all this." Didn't think nothing of it, So my sister went over there and noticed that the side of his face was drooped, and he was having slurring. And we thought he was having a stroke.
Yeah.
So she ended up taking him to the hospital. Of course, we all met him at the hospital. And the doctor was asking, what kind of medication you taking? He said, I was taking a fish oil pill, and I'm taking a baby aspirin, like Dr. Mike said. he thinned his blood out so much when he hit his head. He was bleeding so heavily in his brain, it was pushing the left side of his brain, which was affecting the right side of his body.
Buzz, so you're. This is a confirmation of what Dr. Mike was just saying.
Yeah.
Exactly. Everything he's saying was bringing up these memories, and I was like, "Holy crap!" You know what I mean?
So it would behoove people to Buzz, to your point, and with Bob Saget, to be aware of this. You don't want to live in fear, like oh my God, I open up the closet and just bump my head and quickly let's go get a scan. But to be aware that if you have a certain set of circumstances in your life, you may want to take a little bit more caution. Correct?
Absolutely. So, and I know you guys got a lot of other colors, but so they took him to the other hospital, just like Dr. Mike said. They ended up drilling his head, draining this fluid out.
Oh my God!
I would love to see that.
We still didn't know what was going on, and the doctor said, "Listen, you can't be taking. It's either one or the other. You can't be taking these baby aspirins, fish oil, multivitamins.
Yeah.
Because, again, it thinned his blood out so much, he was actually doing more harm than good." So,
wow. All right. Well, that's good information.
Talk to your doctor before you take that stuff. Exactly.
Absolutely.
All right,
like
Buzz.
the doctor said, look for the signs.
Your dad ended up being okay after that, though, right?
Oh, he's rocking and rolling.
Excellent. All right. Thanks, Buzz. Happy to hear it. Thanks for calling. You got it. I'm going to go to Bill. Hi, Bill. You're on the air. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you today?
Good. What's up, Bill?
So my wife in 2014 worked at a very busy pizza shop. It happened to be a Halloween Friday, and had a very bad migraine to the point where she called me and said, I'm not feeling good. I'm going to go to the hospital. It's like 5 o'clock at night. She went to the hospital. They did a scan. She had a ruptured aneurysm, a brain bleed going on right there.
Oh, my God.
Oh. Had she had any trauma? Did she hit her head or anything?
No, she just had a bad headache. While she was working, thought it was basically because it was such a busy night, Friday, Halloween.
Sure.
People were getting pizzas and heading home to their families and taking the kids out.
So Bill, probably the worst thing she could have done was drive herself to the hospital, is what she did, right?
But her work was a mile from the place.
Oh, all right.
She should have called an ambulance. Looking back on it, you're right. But they put her in a helicopter, flew her down to Jefferson.
Wow.
And they basically the next morning did surgery on her. And one of the most amazing things to me was they went in her leg, up through her body, and put a coil in the vein, plugging the bleed and stopping it.
Isn't that amazing that they're going to the brain and they go into the leg?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just amazing.
The surgery is amazing. It really is. It saves her life. I mean, I can remember the surgeon saying to me, there's a 30% chance she dies on the table here today.
Oh, my God.
30% chance she has paralysis.
And she's
I wanted to run back in there and hug her.
Yeah.
They're like, she can't see you right now. She's calm. Let's go through it. And, thank God she came through everything healthy.
And she's good now.
Has no paralysis, no nothing.
All
but
right.
there are other patients we learned from the surgery, that's why I called in to share this, that waited longer, had to have part of their skull clipped, taken out, had it clipped, and then they had paralysis.
Wow.
So the opinion from the surgeon that we learned, I like to share with the public, is that get to the hospital right away as soon as possible.
Yep.
That's
Okay.
sage advice.
Thank you, Bill.
The second item is that your mother, if your mother had an aneurysm and you're a woman, you're very susceptible. The doctors could tell you, Dr. Mike could tell you the percentage, but it's a very high percentage that you then have it.
Okay, yeah, that's why knowing your medical history is so important in the family. Bill, thank you for the call, man. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too.
Guys, take
All
care.
right, I'm going to go to some different types of stories. I have Cecily on. Hi, Cecily. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, what's up, Cess?
How are you?
Wonderful. What do you want to tell us?
So, actually, just last year at this time, I had cut my finger while I was moving on a piece of glass, and I wouldn't stop bleeding, so I went to the hospital, and they just brushed it off as a simple cut, and they glued it. Come to find out, I actually had tore the flexor tendon in my finger, so I lost all motion in my finger, and it took me a week to really be like, okay, this is serious. And I went to 3 different doctors just to find out I had to get surgery on my hand.
Were they able to reverse that?
Yeah, so if I had waited any longer, I would have had to get a graft in my thumb, but luckily I didn't, and I just was able to get a simple surgery for them to sew it back together.
It's actually, the thing is that, like with all this stuff, is, Nick was saying about, you bump your head, oh,
Yeah,
okay.
right.
Hey, well, how do you know? How do you meet her? Okay, I went to the doctor. This is what they say. But to what Dr. Mike said earlier, know your body. You felt something was wrong. Don't worry about being called hypochondriacal. Go, tend to it.
By the way, Cecily, it sounds like they messed up on the first run there. Did you ever follow through on any of that, researching that?
Yeah, I actually had contacted the head of the hospital, and he said we talked, and I went over how upset I was that they didn't catch it the first time, and he said that they're going to learn from it and stuff, but I didn't pursue it that much because accidents happen.
Okay.
I get that I could have lost my thumb, motion in my thumb,
Sure.
but at least now today, I can move my thumb and I'm good.
The last thing you want to hear is you effed up. You trusted us.
Right. All right. Thank you, Cecily. Appreciate it. Go. Listen, I know going to the emergency room is a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
It's sometimes it's an all day event.
Yeah.
You know, and you're like, oh, I don't want to have to deal with it. But if you're unsure, you really should go. You really should just go get it taken.
And sometimes it's just those benign little things.
The last time I went, I just had to take a dump. That was it. I was in the hospital for hours.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, yeah, you just got a lot of poop in there.
Right here?
What? Are you serious? I'm in agonizing pain.
You want
I
something.
felt like an a-hole.
You simultaneously want something that would warrant that, and you're also thrilled that it's not that.
Exactly. It's a weird sensation.
That's not cool.
Yeah, I wonder if the advent of all these urgent care centers has relieved the emergency room, because a lot of times people go to the emergency room for because they don't have a primary care physician.
Yep.
And so now they have all these urgent care centers, and I just
You can go for the more minor stuff there.
Yeah.
You just go there to watch.
Yeah.
Okay, can you mind if I sit here for a while?
Yeah, right there in the gallery. Sit with everyone else.
I'm going to go to Shane next. Hi, Shane. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. Good morning.
Good morning, Shane. What's up, buddy?
Okay, so when I was 10 years old, and this was like back in '86, I was jumping on my parents' bed, and I did a flip, hit my head on the headboard, had a golf ball size lump on my forehead, and I remember being like looped in and out of it and had to lay down for the rest of the day. And a couple months later, I started having these neurological episodes, almost like a seizure. And to this day, I'm 46, and I still get them. And to this day, they still don't know what it is.
So they have yet to diagnose why you have this, but obviously that's the flashpoint where it occurred, correct?
Yeah, CAT scans, your eyes, those things that, they put on your head with all the wires and got to carry this thing around, nothing will detect it.
Shane, I'm very good with tracheotomies. I haven't tried this kind of stuff, but if you want to come by, I have an X-Acto knife and a flashlight. I'll take a look in.
Yeah.
Great.
That's wild, man. Well, I hope they can figure it out someday, Shane. That's really, and it all goes back to that hit on the noggin.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. All right. Well, thank you.
Have a good one. I remember, Preston, it was a kid. I was on deck, softball game, elementary school. The girl, all the teams are playing each other, swings the bat back, clocks me right in the forehead.
Oh, man.
And I had one of those bumps. Now, they, at that time, it's nothing I was ever aware of, but they did sort of put me on that concussion protocol. And they had,
My mom said that I always had a lump or a bruise on my head.
Right.
Like my entire childhood. It was just, I don't know why. Just, I always got it.
And you
stupid stuff.
And because of that, you kind of chalk it up to, well, you got another battle scar, And also on the other side, though, you shouldn't be absolutely apoplectic and fear.
Terrified. Yeah. I'm going to go to Patrick. He's been on hold for a while. Patrick, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. Sorry about your work.
No, it's all good. What's your story, bud?
So, some years ago now, my dad was, just kind of putzing around a bit, and he stubbed his toe. So just kind of like a minor pain. So the next couple of days turned into a couple of weeks, feeling like, man, this might be like broken or something. So he finally went in for X-rays, and they rushed him in right away. They found out that he had more than just a stub toe. An infection led to MRSA, and they had to take his toe off.
Oh, my God.
MRSA, man.
You had MRSA.
I did. But it started from an injury of stubbing his toe.
Yeah, and it was the crazy part was they kind of gave him the warning signs of like if you would have waited another week or so, we could have been taken up to your knee or worse. So it was just like him getting in on time was the right move, obviously.
I think also sometimes they goose that a little bit just to make him look cooler. Like if you hadn't waited 5 more days, your head would have fallen off.
Right. All right, thanks, Patrick. Appreciate it.
Yeah. There's a perfect example of something you would not. Okay, what?
Yeah.
How does that happen?
Yeah, that's nasty.
It is.
All right. Well, anyhow, thank you for your calls. I'm sorry that if we didn't get a chance to get to you, appreciate it. And you've been on hold for a while. But we need to take a break because we got to get to the Bizarre File. We have some guests who are going to be joining us in a little while. Don't forget. I forgot what I was going to say.
Well, Preston, I can do telemedicine for everyone who's on hold.
Okay. Anybody who wants to talk with Steve about medical advice, just hang on the line and he'll handle that for you.
I'm pretty good.
All right, we're going to take a break. We'll come back in just a moment with some B-File stories for you, my friend. I'll try to remember what I was going to say. Stay there.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
You wake up with Preston and Steve.
Gonna put you in the house now. All right, don't be scared. Daddy has to go kill the bad men. I'm coming to kill you now. Calm down. Did you lose your chew toy? Did you lose your chew toy? It's under the sofa. Yeah. Wait right here. Daddy needs to go kill the reporters. Yes, I know. Yeah, get up in the living room window. You want to see Daddy kill the bad men?
Yeah, that's right. Sets him up where he's got a nice view of the street.
I'm doing this for you.
Yeah.
2, 3, and I'll do it along with you. In that back of that fence, just the 3 of us, 4 of us, me and you.
4, 5. I tell you what, call some of the family members. Bring them out here too.
Show you what kind of a man you are. You're less than a man.
You're a less man.
Okay, you're a crumb creep.
A crumb creep.
You're a moon creep pie creep crumb. You're creep brulee. That's what you are.
Creep brulee.
Yeah. As if someone's taken one of them little torches and fried the top of your head into like a caramelized sugary thing. You are creep brulee. You know what you like? You like one of them fancy desserts with the thin shell on top, but underneath you just pudding. Just pansy pudding, creep crumb, pansy crumb, creep creme, crumb, brulee creep creme. With sugar on top.
At this point, they've just shut up.
They just let them know.
Because they are like, we are getting gold right now. Just let this roll.
Put that on camera. You're a crumb bum, the 3 of you, and I challenge you.
He wouldn't talk earlier. I'm not talking to you, right? I'm not talking to you. And now, Stan Bowman hasn't said anything for like 5 minutes.
He actually fell asleep. What are you, Stan? Are you asleep?
Wake up.
I'm sorry, I had a long night. Where did your dog go? I put him inside, didn't you see? There he is, and they're looking in the window there.
Just me.
There is a
You're a crumb creep coward. You can't take. You won't stand up to him.
I'm standing up. We're not here to fight. We're here to get some answers to some questions. That's all.
I want to fight you.
Why is that?
Because you're a crumb creep lush coward.
You don't.
Crumb creep.
He keeps adding on.
Lush coward.
It started with 1. Then 2.
And you're a Methodist.
Now he's up to 4.
What?
He's up to 4.
I don't know. I'm running out of desserts and various disgusting things.
Are you keeping a list? Do you know, like, okay, you're a crumb, you're a creep.
Wait a second here.
You're yellow.
I keep a list for things like this. You are a jackass crumb, creme, creep, cram, crumb. Oh, that's the wrong list. That's the potential dog names.
Thinking about getting another one, huh?
It was in Chestnut Hill.
Wait, hold on a second. Honey, where's my reported bad name list? It's in the closet. No, I looked in there. I was looking for the dog's chew toy. I'll get back to you. What's your number? Give me a number.
By the way, Mercy.
I remembered it.
By the way,
he gets a call late at night.
No, he calls him back later on.
Better call this guy up. Yeah. You're a yellow crumb snake.
Have a lovely
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Have a lovely evening.
For that creep.
Oh, you creme, crumb, creep, cram.
You're an apple crumb creep cake. A moron. Yeah, that wasn't that good.
Scratch that one off.
That's not good.
Yeah, that's.
I think when I try to do French desserts, it doesn't work out. I'll stick with the German stuff.
Oh my God.
I'm glad we revisited that.
Oh my God, I'm getting tears on my glasses here. Do you remember the squirtable butter used to come in a thing?
Yeah, butter spray.
Is that what?
I
no,
can't
not
believe it's
spray,
not
not
butter.
spray.
There's an actual like liquid, almost
Really?
like
liquidy
like the way you
butter.
dispense mustard.
It was
don't
more
remember
back in the 80s probably, and if you had a waffle, you could go blink, 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 blink in each little.
If I had a waffle,
Each little
I'd eat it
crevice.
in the morning. Yeah, there
Do
we go.
you need
Parkway.
butter in every little square?
You do.
If you're
you're a man.
If you're a man, no.
Okay.
No, I obsess about little things like that.
Okay.
It's just like weird.
So your answer is yes, you do.
Yeah, I have a butter memory with Preston that is probably 19 years old. Do you know what it is?
memories.
Butter memory.
Preston, do you remember the butter memory?
That's probably 19 years old.
19 years old.
Butter memories.
You would have to butter memories. You would have to give me a hint.
Me, you, Steve, and Marilyn.
Wow.
that wraps it up.
Butterfest,
We did a show
1998.
for 3 years together.
Media Court Diner.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
You know the butter memory?
Yeah.
Oh, well, do tell.
So we're sitting there, and it's after we had done a show, and we're having lunch, and there was
We're all just getting to know each other, by the way.
yeah, we're all getting to know each other, and so they had a little ramekin full of butter, which is a small dish. And so I guess it was a ball of butter or something like that. And we're just talking, and I just reach out and grab it and just squish it with my hand, just to be outrageous.
Provocative.
I'm like, ooh, butter.
Yeah.
And I did that, and he died laughing.
I was
So.
like, what? I wish I would have done that.
First time.
That looked fun.
Butter memories.
But if I owned a diner and
I dine in the morning,
and I was serving waffles, there would be a special little spray that I would put melted butter in so that you could go.
You would keep it like you could even have it as you could have the way you have a mug warmer where your butter could be on it and with the pump so that you could dispense that
Now
way.
it would need to be more like misty,
like a fire hose.
No, like
Like a spray bottle.
like a spray bottle, like you would spray your indoor plants.
Like a spritz.
I disagree. I think that the butter, like the spray butter, you're lessening the quality of the butter product. And if you're going to have like actual butter, you're going to need to have like a vat of melted butter. This is your diner, so I'm not trying to tell you how to run your business.
You open your own diner next door.
I'll build your own goddamn diner.
normal, boring pats of
I
butter.
kind of want to work with you, like almost like as if I was your therapist, and to make you okay with not having butter in every square. Like it's all right.
No, I know.
It's still gonna taste good. You're gonna get enough butter.
Believe me, I've
Touchstone Pictures. He had to have butter in every square until a concerned therapist came into his life. My name is Romano. I think I can help you.
Then we need some good music, like
Yes,
Peter
inspiring,
Gabriel,
Salisbury Hill.
Salisbury Hill, yeah. See if you can pull that. So the serious part when he realizes he has a problem.
Oh, no, I can't even get it together anymore. Every time I go into the diner, I start trembling like crazy. I think I know someone you can talk to. And then she came into his life. My name's Romano, and today's the day we start making changes. From Touchstone Pictures, the story of a boy who learned now how to not have butter in every square of his waffle. Butter squareless waffle boy.
Butter squareless waffle boy.
Or something to that effect.
The butter therapist.
I feel like I already went through this with Jace. Like at breakfast time. It's okay, honey.
Unbutterable.
Is that the name of the movie?
Yeah.
I'm doing it!
I just recently had some butt issues the other day, man.
Back in a flounder, didn't you?
Packing a flounder.
I told Casey about it. I had to make what my friend calls a butt tampon out of toilet paper.
Oh, yes.
By
We've
the
all
way,
been there.
What?
We've all been there.
No,
Really? No, we haven't.
No, we haven't.
No, we have not all been there.
Not
Swamp ass.
Kathy. Yeah, come to say you call it swamp ass.
Yeah.
You call it a visit from your friend.
Oh, and she and Kathy always insists that it's because
Just take
of
a shower.
my hygiene. That's not
You
it.
are dirt. Your ass is dirty.
It's from cleaning too much.
There, he's right.
You rub it raw.
He's right. You
That's what
rub it raw.
happened.
Yes.
No, just get in the shower. That
do this-
clean,
I do
not
it.
wipe with toilet paper.
No. Kathy did, and it's painful.
I don't believe you.
Oh my God! You can just suck it.
Here's the deal. So I can tell you, I have a spotless butt. I'm telling, spick and span. But sometimes I tend to overclean.
Yes. Thank you, Steve.
Yes.
We
No
worked
such
together for
thing.
20 years, and
You never know.
You never know.
I apologize for never turning around and parting my cheeks to show you.
Preston, you told me about packing a flounder the other day.
That's what it's called, by the way. Somebody years ago told us. My friend used to call that packing a flounder.
What? Putting
Toilet
the
paper
tissue in.
between your butt cheeks.
Yeah, it's a butt tampon.
to help to keep the chafing down.
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
By the way, if you're pre-med, keep listening because this is valuable information.
But I just have a question for you because you were telling me
That hadn't happened in years, by the way.
Right.
Yeah.
I had an issue with it the other day, and it's all better now. I'm great.
There you go.
Go ahead.
And we do share a lot of intimate information.
Of
with
course
each
we
other.
do.
But you had told me this packing the flounder thing, and I was thinking about it later on in the day because it had a tone as if you thought,
It was wistful.
as if you thought I have packed a flounder before.
No, I just remember you
Okay.
finding it funny.
Okay.
I remember you finding that particular phrase funny, and that's why I brought
It is
up
a
to
funny
you.
phrase.
Yeah.
But I've yet to pack a flounder.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
count yourself
Yes.
lucky, sir.
Yeah, all right.
Because it's not a fun experience.
Few the proud.
I woke up in the middle of the night and did it. I told you that. Yeah, I went to the restaurant.
It can be quite uncomfortable.
I'm going to pack a flounder.
Yes.
And I did, and it helped, and it worked.
You know what? You're missing a product here, and Preston's flounders.
Yeah.
Flounder packers.
Preston's, there's a little alliteration there with the P, packing a flounder. Preston's, but I need flounder packer, maybe something like that.
Preston's fantastic flounder packer. It's kind of like it's like an alliterative sandwich with the P's on the outside and the F's in the middle.
Yeah, I like it.
Fantastic flounders and how to pack them.
I like that
That's
too.
not bad.
It's a little long.
Yeah, it is.
Please welcome of Simple Minds, Mr. Jim Kerr.
Yeah.
Very kind of you. Thank you very much. A real pleasure to be here.
And by the way, Jim Kerr, I believe, is actually how you pronounce your last name,
You
correct?
got it right. In Glasgow, they would say that.
In Glasgow.
Here, they say more kind of Kerr, which is nice. But we're a bit hard on the E, Kerr.
It reminds you where you are, I guess, when you hear your name pronounced a certain way.
Well, my mother's favorite actress was Deborah Kerr.
Ah, it's a good choice.
So,
Nice compliment.
there you go.
I would like to. I'm going to start by throwing a lot of love your way. Your performance, and I'll get right to the song that broke the band in the United States. Don't you forget about me. Your performance of that particular song means so much to me. 1986, around that range. Was when I was a senior in high school. The Breakfast Club, the film had come out, and it just spoke directly to a person like me. The song was such a huge part of the emotional impact of that film, and it has now become my almost. It's tangible. The emotion that I feel when I hear the song, it takes me back to that time in my life that was so important in my own personal development. I'm actually getting a little choked up here when I'm talking. And you were the passion in your voice. Now, I'm probably going to overuse the word passion as we talk to you, Jim, because that's how I always categorize your vocal style. Your singing, very, very passionate. And at that time, it rose above a lot of the other things that were on the radio at the time. And so, number one, I want to thank you. And I know that song wasn't written by you or your bandmates, but I think what you did with it just went above and beyond.
It's the performance.
And surpassed what that song really was.
Well, it's an honor to have any song that means so much to people, but particularly with that song, we are aware in the States, actually elsewhere, that song and the movie meant so much, not only to that generation, but amazingly subsequent generations as well seem to have. It still seems those John Hughes movies, he really hit a nerve. And I know what you mean in the sense that, I'm a music fan as well, and there's still, it's an amazing thing with music. even more than film, I think, in photographs, you hear certain songs and it takes you back to a place. It takes you to the very emotion.
Most definitely.
And you know, there are certain songs that do that for me. For me, it was always radio in my mother's house. There's certain songs I hear, I can actually feel we called it Formica table, this cheap, this cheap breakfast table, because, you know, the radio was there. We listened to radio breakfast, as everyone does here.
Yeah.
And there's certain songs I can actually feel, you know, I'm right at the table. And I get a little teary about that as well.
Oh my God, it's so true.
It's so powerful, and you and I'm curious. Here I am, a chance to meet you and say thank you in person and so forth. And you've had a tremendously successful career. Have you ever had a chance to speak to someone a la David Bowie and say, that song meant so much to me? And do you feel a little odd saying that? Because I know you've heard it so many times, and I don't know if it gets old to you or not, and I feel a little embarrassed that I'm saying all this to you.
Well, you bet. I mean, whenever I'm not cool when I meet people that have meant a lot to me, whether it's sports stars or rock stars or whatever, or movie. I just go up and say, "You're amazing," and, you know. But it's, I mean, some of them kind of don't want to talk about it or something. Have you ever found that? Where you
get that,
and someone's just kind of went, "Yeah, whatever."
Well, and it's confusing
to it.
It is confusing when that happens.
Well, we've talked about this, Jimmy. It's sort of a liability when you meet people who've meant a lot to you. You know, and then we use the phrase, "They were them. They were exactly who you wanted them to be."
Yeah.
And it's like the ultimate when you get the person you hope they would be. Not everyone can be that, or some people, you know, sort of have sort of a jaded view, or they'll kind of frown upon what got them to the dance.
Or they're self-conscious or something.
Right, and for whatever reason, and you'd almost rather keep the illusion than the actual reality. But when they do sync up and you get both, it's fantastic.
Well, I can talk about
keep playing the great music. I do turn on YouTube once in a while and watch your show live. Cannot wait to see the day again when you have live guests in your studio. Thanks again for being the best DJ and having the best morning show. And she had said, can you play it between 8 and 8:45? All right. It's after 8.
You got that.
Nailed it.
All right. I thought it was 8:30 and 8:45. Thanks. And that is from Sandy Shamilia. So a shout out to Sandy Shamilia. And happy birthday to you. And then
Sandy!
One last one. This was from yesterday, I think it said, total absent-mindedness is the cause for this late shout-out request. So today's my dad's birthday. That is, by today we mean February 8th. So it was a couple days ago.
Yes.
And not any other day of the year that this message may have found its way to the legendary Preston and Steve show. Today would have also been his mom's birthday, too, but she passed away in December at 91 years old. This will be a tough one for him, I'm sure, but I'm hoping that a well-aimed shout-out will make it easier. My dad's name is Bruce Heck, and he is from historic St. Peter's Village, PA. He's a retired union electrician, and there is no mountain that he wouldn't move to help his family. Please give him a good one. Thanks. And that is from Lindsay Heck. So there's your chart, and happy birthday.
Yes.
To everybody.
Your work is done here.
All right, we're going to do the Bizarre File. Here we go.
Now, WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
All righty, we'll start with a follow-up story. A man who was found carrying his own severed arm around downtown Lewiston, Maine last month apparently cut it off himself, a police investigation found. So you remember, this guy was walking down the street, holding his arm. These two guys stopped him to help him out, saved his life. Well, after looking at hours of video footage and speaking with witnesses, it was determined that Abdiaziz Hussein cut off his arm by means of a meat-grade bandsaw at the 8K AK market, and he doesn't work there. Like, he just went in
and cut his arm off.
Cut his arm off.
Huh.
To Lewiston Public Works.
Can you cut that thinly?
Employees came across Hussein carrying his arm on January 21st on Maple Street, which runs parallel to the market. His arm was severed close to the shoulder.
Oh, my God.
And the two applied a tourniquet to his arm before first responders arrived and rushed him to Central Maine Medical Center.
Was he using the severed arm to hitchhike?
It was announced that OSHA ended the agency's investigation into the case because Hussein was not an employee at the market.
Just wandered in. Can I use your saw?
And they have no grounds to investigate it.
God.
AK Market sells a variety of home goods, dry foods, and meat.
And if you need any appendages cut off, think of us. Preston, so that blade would have had to have been right near his face. I mean, if he cut it that high up on the arm.
Yep, that's insane. The body of a 70-year-old woman has been found in her house in northern Italy 2 years after her death. Marinella Beretta lived alone near Lake Como. Her decomposed body was discovered on Friday by the Como Fire Brigade following complaints that a tree had fallen in her garden and a result of overgrown vegetation. So her body was found sitting in a chair in the living room.
That had to be a mess.
The cause of Beretta's death is unknown. The examiner had established that she died somewhere towards the end of 2019 based on the level of decay to her body. Yeah. No relatives of Beretta have yet come forward. Police are investigating whether she even had any surviving family.
Which clearly was not what you'd call popular.
For now, Beretta's body remains at the morgue, and a funeral date has not been set. But the mayor of the town has invited the town's residents to attend Beretta's funeral. He told the Italian press on Tuesday the local government would take care of the funeral arrangements.
Any takers? Anybody?
Wow. Florida man, police say, declared that he was Mick Jagger while drunk in downtown Naples, was arrested on Monday. Eugene Bingham was disrupting a number of downtown Naples restaurants, including Ocean Prime and Yaba's.
Eugene!
At Ocean Prime, he yelled at guests and tried to fight others at the bar.
Oh, Mick Jagger. No, really, I'm Mick Jagger.
At Yaba's, he's accused of trying to get on stage during a live performance. Naples police found Bingham walking near the bathrooms on the north side of a park after a woman told the officer a drunk male in a red shirt is yelling at people, claiming that he's Mick Jagger.
And look at the picture side by side, Preston. It's like a mirror.
A struggle ensued after a police officer found Bingham. Bingham was placed under arrest and vomited in the back of the Naples police patrol car.
Sorry about that.
Bingham could not be processed into jail for medical reasons, and he faces charges of disorderly intoxication and battery on a law enforcement officer. So, yeah.
Would it be wild if it was actually Keith Richards?
That would be.
Yeah.
An 80-year-old Chicago woman says that the online game Wordle was key to her escaping a 17-hour ordeal in which a man broke into her house, forced her to bathe with him, and then locked her in the basement. Denise Holt said that her daughter in Seattle notified police and requested a welfare check after she did not see her mother's Wordle submission that morning.
Isn't that wild?
Despite her family's concern, Holt remained positive and said, "I didn't think that I was going to live." Police eventually deemed the situation was critical after an hours-long standoff and broke through a door to gain entry in Holt's house in Chicago. She was trapped in a dark bathroom of her basement with the door barricaded by a chair. She had been doing exercises to stay warm. She said, "I was doing marching and stretching as much as I could." Thankfully, her daughter Meredith had noticed something was off after seeing her mother was not viewing her texts or updating Wordle. Police arrested James H. Davis, who now faces felony charges of home invasion with a dangerous weapon, aggravated kidnapping, and aggravated assault.
A.K.A. Mick Jagger, Preston.
Right. Guy's getting around.
Yeah.
All right, how about this one? A world-famous painting has been ruined by a security guard who claimed he was bored on his first day of work.
This is great.
3 figures painted by the acclaimed Russian artist Anna Leporskava in 1932 was on display at the Yeltsin Center in Russia and was being looked after by a 60-year-old man. But something odd was spotted by the art lovers who were checking out the image, which is worth about $1 million.
Yeah.
The security guard had decided to draw a pair of eyes on 2 of the 3 faceless figures while he was on shift.
Oh, my God. Do you not know what you're guarding?
The news, which has only just made headlines outside of Russia this week, presumably did not go down well at the State Tretoyakov Gallery in Moscow, where the painting was on loan from. Despite the obvious vandalism, Russian police refused to open a criminal case against the man as there were no signs of a crime as defined by the Criminal Code of the Russian Federation.
Wait, I can fix this.
And the Yeltsin Center refused to give security footage of the police and also waited 2 weeks to report the vandalism. So the restoration process is expected to cost around $30,000. When returned to the gallery, it will be placed behind protective glass for future protection, by the way.
You know, I was thinking all the time as I was reading this story, googly eyes.
Yes,
Yeah.
googly eyes, and I was thinking about the Christ,
Oh, my God.
Jesus picture that the woman had changed.
I'll take care of this.
All right, and there you go. That's what I have in the bizarre file this morning. We're going to break. When we come back, Tammy Piscatelli.
Hey.
We'll be at Helium Comedy Club. Will be joining us. Danny Briere is going to be on the program as well. New position with the Flyers. Stay put. We'll be back in a few.
I'll Stand By You. That's my wife. That's our wedding song, yeah.
You guys now share a grandchild together.
We do indeed.
Yeah. Congratulations.
And yet Chrissy, she would be the first to say when anyone goes up to her in the street and goes, wow, Chrissy, she kind of goes right in her shell and she kind of doesn't know what to say, and it comes across as being cold.
Mm-hmm.
And then she will regret that for the rest of the week. Genuinely, she'll say, oh, I met that person, and they must think, well, I won't tell you what she says, but she doesn't mean it like, she just gets kind of, whereas Charlie Burchill, my songwriting partner and guitar player in Simple Minds, we were beyond fortunate last week in New York because we had a night off, and I'm sure you're aware Springsteen was playing on Broadway, and
so cool.
Just to get tickets to see the show was enough to be 20 yards from him where he's standing with an acoustic playing Born to Run, and the spit was almost touching us. In fact, we were running towards it. And then afterwards, we didn't know this. Afterwards, as we were about to leave, someone came out and said, John Landau, Bruce's manager, would let you go back. And I'm sure no one will be surprised to hear me say that, Bruce was just amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, he just wanted to talk about music, and he wanted to talk about a book that he'd written, of which the show is based on, of which we've all read. And it was great to have someone as comfortable.
You love that. Did he relay any particular level of was he citing some of your work, or because he clearly, you?
Well, he's so generous. We had played in New Jersey the night before.
Okay.
I think John had told him that, and we played, so we're in his hood. And he had just spent time on stage saying how he had a love-hate with New Jersey. All he wanted to do was get out of there, hence Born to Run and all that. But, of course, he's still there. But he knew we'd played, and he was asking about the band and all that stuff. We have a few friends in common. Steve Van Zandt, we did a lot of things with Steve back in the day.
And the Sun City,
the Sun City thing, and also Jimmy Iovine, who produced Born to Run. He just produced a track that you played there, Alive and Kicking, and so we'd met Bruce before as well. So
I think, and it's the truth, that the people who, I love when film directors come in here and they're fans of other directors, because you clearly you just at a core have a passion for music.
That's right.
So you are a fan of other musicians. Yeah. And I think that informs your ability to be a great musician.
I would think so. I would think I think if you're in love with something, it must be. Listen, if you've got a job that you love, no matter what that job is, you've won the lotto, because we know what it's like if you don't like your job.
Yes.
So if you're passionate about it, I mean, even today we're going to go along to the theatre 4:30 this afternoon. We're going to work on other stuff, songs that we want to bring into the set as the tour progresses.
That's great.
We're always chopping and changing. I'm excited about that, and it's only a sound check.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask about, Jim, yours and Simple Minds' history in Philadelphia. You played Live Aid here. From what I understand, you were the first band that was approached to play the Philadelphia show?
Well, certainly I remember getting the call from Geldof at the time, and it was amazing. It was a great honor to be asked, and of course, although obviously we're from the other side of the pond, at the time the song that you mentioned, Don't You Forget About Me, was really climbing high in the Billboard charts, and Bob said, you got to do it in Philadelphia. We were only too happy. We were en route anyway to come here and record. But I don't think any of us were aware that all these years later that in terms of rock and roll anyway, it's still the historical event, is our generation's Woodstock. Joan Baez, I think, alluded to that when she opened. She, that was her. But when you see now, even now, when I see the numbers that were there in the stadium's no longer there.
Was that day fairly chaotic?
And the way you would expect. I mean, I was talking outside. I mean, everyone was there. You know, I mean, it was a whole. The great thing was, I brought across my dad.
Oh wow!
He'd never been in the States before. And we sort of, he was wearing a bright yellow Scotland T-shirt. So I thought, how can you lose him? He's wearing a bright yellow. They said, "What do you mean, how can you lose him? 120,000 people out there." But I saw him because he was wearing this.
The bright yellow Scotland T-shirt.
Yeah. And he said to me, come here. I want to introduce you to this guy. I want to introduce you. Who's here? Now, you think, you know, Madonna was there and Tina Turner and Mick Jagger and all that. And we went round. And there was this guy sitting on his amplifier, just strumming away.
Yeah.
Total dignity. Bo Diddley.
Ah, Bo Diddley.
And my dad said to me, Bo Diddley, if it wasn't for him, there would be no live.
Legendary,
You know, there would be no rock and roll. If it wasn't for these guys. And of course, he was right.
Yeah.
So, memories like that come to the forefront.
You mentioned Jimmy Iovine, and I saw the special on HBO about him, The Defiant Ones, and he talked about producing Born to Run and how frustrating it was because Bruce was such a perfectionist when it came to putting that record. And eventually somebody had to tell Jimmy, it's not your record, Jimmy, it's Bruce's. Let Bruce do what he needs to do. What was it like for you guys working with him?
I mean, we've been so lucky. We worked with Jimmy, Bob Clearmountain, Trevor Horn, Steve Lillywhite, all these people. But Jimmy just had this way. It's funny because I can tell the jury was out. Some of the people around us didn't quite get Jimmy.
Really?
Because Jimmy was more a kind of ringmaster. He couldn't go in and tell you technically what was wrong or what was right. It was all feel. And he had a great kind of meter on him with that. That feels great. That's where you should be. But he made you feel great. And if you felt great, then you're going to perform. He gave you confidence. And I, in some ways, we've never met anyone like Jimmy in that sense. He would be, you know how in sports you get a coach, I say this, that make journeymen believe they're much better than they are.
Right.
Jimmy did that to us.
It would seem like some producers are more musicians and some guys are more directors. And when it comes to instructing a band, and he seems like more the director kind.
I'll tell you a funny story about it, and this is the way he is too, because Alive and Kicking, we'd put together the demo. See, we were all a bit weirded out with the success of Don't You Forget About Me, because it become this kind of colossal thing, the movie and MTV, and everyone was all over it.
It was just a confluence of things going on. Yeah.
And Jimmy was like, you know, what are you going to do to follow it up? It's a monster. What are you going to do? You know? And we were like, I don't know. Relax. We'll come up with something. And so we came up with this, basically the structure for Alive and Kicking. He's like, that's great. You know, like, get it down. That's going to be amazing. And we all felt that. But I had done a guide vocal, kind of sketch lyrics.
Yeah.
That I meant to come back and finish off. And the first line, and it's, you know, you turn me on. So I go to do it for real. And I change the line to something else. And he goes, hang on a minute. Where's You Turn Me On? I said, you can't sing with You Turn Me On. That's terrible. That's garbage. You Turn Me On. I won't be able to go home to Glasgow if I sing that. People will just rip the out of me. And he went, you're going to change that? And I said, yeah. And he went, my wife loves it. All Vicky's friends love it. Everyone loves it. You can't change it. I said, I'm changing it. And he starts taking out his car keys and his house. He says, here, take them, because I'm going to lose my house. Here, you're going to cost me a fortune. You're going to cost me a fortune. You're going to cost. And he was kind of half serious.
Yeah.
So it stayed.
Hey, listen.
And it kind of works.
It works. It works.
It works as long as I don't think about it.
But it's funny because you as the artist are going to be hypercritical, and it's something that we have to think about, even on our level of just doing what we do.
Yeah.
You know, like program directors or whatever, listen with different ears.
Yeah.
And the hardest thing, I think, and probably what distinguishes a good producer who is able to produce hits, listens as the consumer hears it.
Yeah. Well, in my head, if you're Marvin Gaye, you can sing You Turn Me On. Right. If you're some little white nerdy guy from Glasgow with freckles gone, you turn me on. It's creepy, but not according to Jimmy.
You were a tad bit nerdy, Jim.
A bit nerdy, yeah.
But that's why Chrissy Hines seems like when you guys got together, I remember thinking, wow, she's like the leather rock chick, and this guy, that's kind of wild.
Bit off a bit more than I could chew. But you got to give me kudos for
thumbs up
for daring to dance.
yes, absolutely. Jim, it's an honor to meet you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Thanks, all of you.
Our pleasure.
Jim Kerr, guys. On the Preston and Steve Show.
The only raccoons they like food.
Okay.
So it doesn't,
doesn't matter.
I had them eating goldfish crackers out of my hand.
That's right.
Remember, Robbie?
Wait, you fed him out of your hand?
I told you this story many times.
We heard this story thousands of times.
Yeah, but hang on. Was it while he was in a trap?
No.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah, I know. Well, I was not.
Didn't you? We were playing golf one time.
That was during the day.
And we saw
that was
one,
a mangy-looking thing.
Dude, don't go near that thing.
Yes.
And here you are feeding this one by hand.
Well,
hypocrite.
That time, Preston, I was dead sober. B, it was a mangy-looking thing, and C, it was in the middle of the day.
Okay.
When I had this thing eating out of my hand, I had just gotten back from a wedding. It was late at night. I went outside.
You were feeling good.
Yeah, and we had developed it was a quick bond.
You had an understanding.
How was the wedding?
Yeah, I was like, man, it was a really good time. Do you want some goldfish?
Do I know them? Is his family or is his friends?
No, you don't know them.
I have to say I'm a little peckish. I'd love to talk to you, but I'm not thinking straight.
Hang on.
Can you hook me up?
Yeah, I got some goldfish. You want some goldfish?
Oh, bingo.
Okay, hang on a
Love
second.
it. Yeah, you go get those and I'll find us a place to sit.
Comes back, he's smoking a cigarette.
Hey.
God, look at that sky.
What did I tell you?
Never leaving Delco.
Those things are going to kill you.
I know. It's my one thing, though, you know.
Gotta have a vice.
Gotta have a vice. I don't drink. But this, taking a cool drag on a night like that. It's just everything. Just everything to this little raccoon.
Yeah.
Smoking raccoon.
From Touchstone Pictures, the story of a friendship, an interspecies friendship. Me, the raccoon in me.
The raccoon in me.
Raccoon.
Oh, my.
Starring Casey.
Oh, dear Lord. All right. Let me go to Chico real quick. Hey, Chico, you're on the air. Good morning.
What's the deal, bitches?
Yo, buddy. All right, you have an interesting story. Do tell.
Oh, man. Interesting story ain't the word. When I was younger, I had a girlfriend, and her dad was a prize coon hunting dog kennel. He had a kennel that they would raise coon hunting dogs.
Yeah.
And they came across one that had some babies, so he decided to bring the baby home to the daughter, and that was my girlfriend at the time. And sure enough, she kept it as a pet. And
what kind of pet was it, Chico? Was it good and or was it a handful?
Oh, it was a handful. I mean, it was cool when it was little, and like their hands feel funny, like leathery, and, and they would do little things. But she called it. His name was Snickers. Snickers. It loves Snicker bars.
Oh, Snickers. I thought,
Snicker bars.
Okay.
And then what the problem what happened was long story short,
Love the Snickers.
Yeah, you can bring me my Snickers.
Hey, Chico, hook a brother up with some Snickers.
Yeah. Hey, Chico, bring me a Snickers.
It's going to be at Helium Comedy Club tonight. There's an 8 o'clock show, 2 shows on Friday and 2 shows on Saturday. She pays attention to detail, and we see an example of that in her Zoom setting right now.
Yes.
It's one of the best settings I've seen so far in an interview. Please welcome Tammy Pescatelli. Hey, how you doing, Tammy?
I have to. I'm good. First of all, I'm so glad to see you guys because normally in the old days, COVID was good for some things. Can we just admit it? All right?
Yeah.
I'm able to see you guys. But you know what I did here? I'm Italian and OCD. So people who are listening, what I did is I took a picture of my house when it was clean, and then I used that as my background.
Wow. So it is your house. I was complimenting it. A little bit of a flavor of Tuscany.
I thought they had really stepped it up a notch and put you like in the Four Seasons or something like that.
Yeah, of course.
Because the background looks beautiful.
I'm so tired of being skeeved. I liked people until COVID, and then they Zoom call me with dishes in the sink, and I'm like, You have time for a phone call? Make your bed. Do your dishes.
No, you're right. There's a little bit of, early on, Tammy, the thing to do was, when the Zoom was starting up, was to be completely distracted to the person you were talking to and look at the books on their bookshelf.
Yep.
And then people got wise to that and started putting up War and Peace and, to try to impress people.
Yeah, the Bible. Oh, shut up. You don't have all that behind you.
It's true. I had to start right off because I was doing a little perusing of your Instagram account, and I think quite possibly you and Preston might share a common love. Are you a fan of the movie The Ten Commandments?
Huge fan of the Ten Commandments.
Oh.
I love if you walked into my show in one of those bracelets, headdresses, sandals, and a skirt. I'm married for I think 16, 17, I don't know, my anniversary's tomorrow. I might go after you still. I mean, I love
You like that look? Yeah.
I love that look.
I am a fan of that film for a few reasons. Number one, the over the top sets and so on. It's a Cecil B. DeMille film, but it's the overacting. I love it. It's just my buddy and I, we would have his family would come over to our house. And we would watch it every year. We'd have a Ten Commandments party. We'd cook a great meal, and we would find it entertaining and funny at the same time. Believe it or not.
Well, and that was my father was like the Pharaoh. So let it written, so let it be done.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
So your dad was very similar to Yul Brynner then.
Well, no, the other Pharaoh.
Oh, the other
The
Pharaoh.
one that, like everybody said, the
Ramses.
one that everybody kowtowed to.
Right.
I mean, he was the guy that literally, if you didn't let his, when I broke up with my boyfriend, he was like, let his name be stricken from the record.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
It was that
kind of
biblical.
guy.
Wow, yeah.
I love it.
That's cool.
great. So what have you been filling your idle time with? What's been happening? I know you do. Obviously acting is part of your career as well. Have you been able to secure some gigs in that realm lately?
yeah, well, the craziest thing is, as soon as the world kind of opened up, I got busier than I ever was before. Because now I do a lot of corporate Zoom things.
Yeah.
And then Blue Bloods came along out of nowhere.
Which is-
these years I've been trying to act. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, that's cool. In fact, I saw a still, and I'm like, I know that person. And then I realized it was you. I watch the show periodically, but I'm like, Blue Bloods is one of those shows that will probably be on for another 70 years. So that's a good in for you.
Yeah, it's really nice, and I'm kind of lucky because I think, I didn't get it because people go, "Oh, you knew Donnie Wahlberg." Yeah, I did know him, but I didn't want to tell him I was auditioning for it because I didn't want anybody to say, "Oh, that's how you got it." Because then, by the way, it is around the world. So if you suck, you got the part because you're friends with somebody, you're still going to suck globally now. You know what I mean?
Global sucking. No,
Nobody wants that. Not even adult entertainers want global sucking.
Well, Donnie Wahlberg, has proven himself to be a really solid actor. I mean, remember the first time we saw him in The Sixth Sense, like as that lunatic in the beginning, and we were like, holy hell, he's really good. But were you in love with Magnum PI and Tom Selleck? And
Okay, yeah, totally. But
Okay.
I didn't have any scenes with him. Everybody goes, "Did you meet Tom Selleck?" And I'm like, I would have reverse mortgaged my house. Okay, like I totally.
that's what he pushes. He pushes that all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would do it as well. He's a convincing dude, but he's got that thing,
He does. It's the machismo when men were men. It's like we were talking about 10 Commandments. You guys, like you're men. Like I miss men. I miss men. There's a lot. Like it's a different time, and I appreciate everybody's stance. And I'm not picking on anybody, but there was a time when you could just I would be like, "Oh, I need some help. Let me find a man." Now I got to go, wait a second. Hold on. Can you help me? I don't mean to offend you. I shouldn't just assume because you have muscles, you can lift a car jack.
Are you pretty resourceful in that area? I mean, you seem like you're very self-sufficient.
Well, first of all, I'm an Italian girl from the neighborhood. So yes. And I don't have fake nails, so I'm not afraid to do stuff. Okay.
You can change a tire.
I could do, but also, yes. And now I realize, because don't forget, I've been on the road for like 26 years. And
Yeah.
in the old days, you just go with a map and a roll of quarters you were either going to use for a payphone or to punch someone, you know? So I think for me, I just realized that thank God I did all the things I did to take care of myself, because when you listen to all that true crime stuff, I should have been murdered decades ago.
Yes. Yeah, it's always a woman alone in a car. It's how many of those have been stand-up comedians? I don't know. Yeah.
Who knows? But thank God. Left room for me. No, I'm just kidding. Right in, I don't care.
Tammy, I wanted to ask, because I'm looking at your Instagram account, and you've got some great photos of close-ups of you. And one of the things I always notice about you when I see pictures of you, your eyebrows are very well manicured. They're on point. Thank you, Kathy. You do that yourself? You get them done by a professional?
No, I do it myself. And listen, let me tell you something. It works one of two ways. You either look good or you look like a complete lunatic. There's no in between.
Wait, and
all right?
Tammy, isn't it sometimes like one looks good and the other you look like a complete lunatic?
Right. And it's at any point, and I have gotten to the place where I don't care anymore. But if you remember, I used to do that joke about the thinner the eyebrow, the crazier the broad.
Yes.
Yeah, and so that really has come back to haunt me. Because you got to watch what you put out in the atmosphere, because people then judge you by your own material.
But that was so true. I mean, you'll see sometimes these mug shots, and there's just like the thinnest line of eyebrow, and it's like, well, there you go. There's your proof positive.
Yeah, and then they go, oh, I got a thyroid condition. Stop it. Stop it.
So Kathy was going to a guy who was it
The
King of Brow?
the eyebrow king. That's what they call him.
Oh.
And
And his brother's the king of Prussia.
No, but he's almost like the soup Nazi. Like, he can cut you off.
Yeah. Tammy, it's like you have to have to follow by his rules. You get a set of rules before you go into your appointment. You can't bring anybody with you. If you are like 60 seconds late, the door is locked and you're not allowed in.
Okay, Kathy, not obviously I'm sure he's booked, because I'm sure he's a big Valentine's Day so I'm sure, and look, by the way, I drew him on nice today, so I'm good. But the next time I come into town, you and I are gonna go and we're gonna film the whole thing.
You have to. I'm telling you, it's an experience. Listen, he likes me because I am on time. I follow the rules. I love going to him. He's excellent at doing eyebrows. He is good at what he does, but we need to film it for sure, Tammy. I will take you there.
That'll be fun. Listen, I'm old, and I'm not pretending to not be old. And that's one of the things this generation, the young generation, like they don't slut shame, they don't fat shame, but they will age shame. And they're like, send me emails, you're old. And I'm like, yeah, I am. But when I was your age, I wasn't typing to the Golden Girls. I was out dancing on tables trying to bag 76ers.
Yeah, it is weird. But, it's like that's a weird dynamic. And I'll see that happen. And it is the truth that women will catch I remember seeing a roast years ago, and everyone was about the same age, and yet they kept jumping on one of the females. Was it Sarah Silverman? Saying how old she was. They kept going after her for that. There were guys who were older than her on the dais, but for some reason she was catching the old jokes. And it seemed like, that was like really just obvious that was the modus operandi of the group. So I think women do tend to catch that more.
Yeah, you have to care. That's the thing for me. I'm like, if you knew what I went through, I lived in comedy condos. The fact that I am this age is a testimony to who I am.
Comedy condos are legendary. So I did stand up for a brief period, and they basically, it was Shawshank for comedians, right?
Wasn't there a story about somebody who would wipe their ass on the phone or something like that?
Who told us that?
I forgot about that.
Stop! Every time they all come out, and I'm like, oh my God, what condo is that? I know of a guy who dipped his junk in the milk jug.
But
I saw it, and it wasn't sexual harassment back then.
Do you wear those battle scars proudly? I mean, because honestly, I look back at my brief time compared to, you've had many more years doing it and with greater success. But are those kind of battle scars of that you're proud of that, haven't been on the road? Because a lot of people haven't worked the road the way you have and other people have who really put in the time.
Well, I am proud of it, but I wish I wouldn't have done it.
Really?
I think,
why?
No, I'm proud of it, and I'm thrilled. I saw the world. There's a camaraderie with comics back then. I mean, it was amazing. But nowadays, like these young comics just put a viral clip up and bam, you got something. But look, I went around with literally looked like a murder kit. I had like a milk crate with duct tape and bleach and sheets and stuff because I didn't want to sleep. And I said I'm an Italian. I skeeve stuff all the time, so I couldn't sleep. One time I stayed in. As a matter of fact, I'm starting I've never had a podcast. I think I'm the last comedian left. I'm probably the last person left on the planet without a podcast. And I'm starting my friend was on the job. She was a cop for 29 years and she just retired. So we're going to do a podcast called The Cop and the Comedian. But it all starts with, it's about comedy crimes. And I stayed with Vince Champ, who was a serial rapist.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I didn't know. I stayed with him. Of course, I didn't know.
Yeah.
It's not like, hey, how many have you raped? Over under.
Oh my God, Tammy.
Just as long as it's under 10, I'm cool. Yeah, no.
So I had no idea, and like the comedy condos were like hostels. So sometimes you would stay over because you were going on to the next city. Other people would come in, and it was kind of a flop house. You didn't know who was coming, who was there. So, and sometimes it was really cool because you'd hang out with your friends, but sometimes you'd end up staying with people you didn't know. And this guy was like the Star Search, $100,000 winner, Clean Mouth Award comedian from all the Just for Laughs. So he came in twice. I stayed with him twice, and both nights he went out and brutally raped women at a college.
Dear God! So
yeah.
Obviously,
I had no idea.
You breathe
clearly.
it, yeah, clearly. Yeah, go out and do your raping. Yeah, no, that's an amazing thing.
I'll catch you afterwards, and not to make fun of it for people, because trust me, I know I'm very grateful in a weird way to those women because I feel like in a way they saved my life.
Yeah,
because he would have stayed with me. And
that's an amazing dynamic to stop and think about that. We're all perpetually fascinated. They present such an aberration of humanity. Somebody who would do that to someone, and yet you find yourself like with serial killers and stuff like that. I think we're drawn to it because we cannot understand it, and we try to understand it, and it's this enigma that just keeps presenting itself to us. Are you drawn to like crimes, true crime, and all that stuff?
Well, I was for a while, and then I remember my son said, "Mommy, I want to do that. I want to listen to those with you." And I said, "Why?" He goes, "I want to be scared." And I was like, "Well, just come with me to the mailbox." I mean, we got so many things to be scared of. But I think with the story for me with Vince, it was a really odd dynamic I never talked about for almost 20 years because I got interrogated by the FBI because they thought he was my boyfriend. Because I stayed with him in two different cities.
Right.
And I kept saying, I really don't even know this guy. So that's kind of where that whole podcast is going to jump off. We go back. You guys will love it because we go back and we look at his act. And his whole act was thumbing his nose at people. Now, my act on the other end is just I'm an idiot surrounded by idiots. So I talk about that.
So when does this premiere?
As soon as I get 10 episodes together.
Okay.
I want to do it all at once. I'll call you guys back.
No, we absolutely be fascinated with this, honestly. And I don't know. I listen. You never want to profit off of something like this, but I think this is an amazing story that you're telling. And Netflix is always every time you turn around, there's 9 new shows like this. Have you been approached by anybody for this story?
Oh God, no! I don't think my story with that is really enough. Netflix should approach me for my family reunion that I'm trying to plan in July. That's what they really should, because I have some people in my family that are like, I want to take DNA tests to make sure that we're all related.
Right.
And then I have other people that are like, you're just trying to yoke me up on charges and stuff if we do DNA tests. So
would you ever do like the 23andMe and that sort of stuff? Because we've talked about this many times. I think Kathy recently found out, or not so recently, that she had an extended family she was unaware of. right? What was
Kathy,
it?
I don't even like the people I know in my family. I don't need more. I don't need more people that I have to pay for DUI and divorces and have them ride to my house on their lawnmowers after their license is taken away.
That's great. That's great.
Oh man, yeah, I did it, and yes, and I found out. Sure, I got like some third cousins that are in drivable distances. I have no interest at all in meeting these people that I've never met before in my life and never will.
You know, there's a scene in
Right.
the.
What are you, Amish? Like you gotta go like look for a wife or something? Like there's no point.
Yeah, there's a scene in the Dead Zone I always reference when people talk about this, where the doctor's presented with the, if you knew, then you could go back and stop Hitler, and he goes, oh, and then he has the potential to meet his mother, he didn't realize was still alive after the war, and he says, no. It wasn't meant to be.
Yeah.
And I figure if I've gone this long without these people in my life, it's probably not meant to be, right?
You know what though, Tammy? I have a big Irish Italian family. So like when these new people started, right? When these new people started to come into our life, we were kind of like, oh, we're kind of bored with old people. Like here's somebody new. Let's find out what
You've run out of people to talk about.
Pretty much.
That's what I put on because we haven't had a family reunion in a long time, and my father passed, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna have a Pescatelli Palooza at my house. And I wrote on the bottom of it, I'm like, if you don't come, we're going to talk about you. So I bet everybody shows up.
That's a great plan. Yeah, yeah. That's the last. When they talk about you, what do you think they most often say?
That I got a big nose, which is nothing new, and that I gained weight. I'm like, okay, and probably those who have borrowed money from me say that I'm a big shot, right? Right? Oh, she thinks who she is. No, I think that you're a loser and come to me all the time and force me.
But you've got to be the star of the family, right? You're the story.
I try not to be because some of the other ones are way more interesting. And like, I try to just back up and because you know me, I'm not the funniest human being in the world, but I can watch people. I'm an observationist. Yeah. I'm literally like a political scientist. Like I don't get into politics at all, but it's so funny because I watched two friends argue on social media over vaccinations, non-vaccinations. Then I went to Walmart because, I live on the other side of Pennsylvania, and there were Amish people in line in front of me. And I go, hey, they blew the whole science experiment. They're not even vaccinated for smallpox or polio.
But
so, like, what are we arguing over?
You like to listen to people. I get that as well. And I think it comes down to if you get into a taxi cab, do you talk to the cab driver or not? And I think people who are like, do what you do for a living, observational comedy or interviewers, you have that natural curiosity, and it's genuine,
Yeah, well, and I also think that for me, I put everybody down to two things in life. Do you make your bed every day? And do you take all your groceries in at the same time, or do you take trips?
All right. So if you don't make
if you take trips, we aren't friends. Okay.
Oh, good.
I don't have time. I load up like I'm an eagle, getting ready for the.
Yep. All right. No. So I don't make my bed every day. Where does that put me?
Well, you probably have somebody that makes your bed.
No.
So that's probably the difference.
No, it's pretty much a wreck all the time. Now I get up at 3:50 a.m. and there's no way in hell I'm going to spend any
That's
time.
still nighttime, so
Yeah, totally.
forget it.
Thank
Yours
you.
is off.
I
Yours is
cheat
off.
though. I sleep on top
Of a made bed.
of a made bed, and then I just have a blanket that I fold. So, but technically it's made.
Listen, my kid, I said, if you don't make your bed every day, like when you ask me to do things, I'm going to think twice about it. Like I'm going
Right.
So I go upstairs the other day. He's got a sleeping bag on top of his bed.
There you go.
He's brilliant.
He's a
like
genius.
he circumvented the system completely right there.
Well, hire him as your agent when he gets old enough.
I know. He's way smarter than me. That's so funny.
Well, listen, Tammy, have a great time while you're in Philly. Just reminding people, Tammy's got one show tonight at 8 o'clock at Helium Comedy Club. There are two tomorrow, 7:30 and 10. And then on Saturday is 7 p.m. and 9:30.
Excellent.
And you can get tickets at heliumcomedy.com. We give our full seal of approval for you having a great time and heading to a Tammy Pescatelli show.
I love you
Treat
guys. Thank you
yourself.
for saying that. That
No
means
problem.
a lot. It's Valentine's Day or Singles Awareness, whatever you want to call it. I support you.
Awesome. All right, well, have a great time where you're in Philly, Tammy. We appreciate you checking in this morning.
I love you guys.
Love you too. Tammy Pescatore. Hey, and there she goes. She is fun, man.
She's, she reminds me like of a Leah Remini type, who
Yes.
just and just by organically they're fun. They're funny.
Yeah, we had her in here one time and we put her on. It was when the hoverboards were new.
Yeah.
We got the glide hover. We're having two people on that have ridden hoverboards with us.
yeah.
Danny
Danny
Briere.
Briere. Blocky.
Is going to be in a little while. We played hockey on the glide hoverboards. But I remember Tammy riding around here in the studio on that. I had to hold her hand the whole time. She couldn't quite get it on her own, but it was fun.
Did you see the new Segway thing that's out? That's a big thing. Okay.
Do tell.
So it is. They call them like hover shoes. So basically, they're two separate platforms that you stand. You've seen them, Case?
I've seen them, man. They look super dangerous.
Really?
So, but there was a thing about there was a family, I guess, at an airport. They all had them, and the people around them were just like snickering.
Yeah. I'm looking at these now. They almost look like the way they are. They're just on the bottom of your feet. It looks like about maybe even less the size of a shoe. And it's a single wheel. They kind of remind me of Heelys a little bit.
Yeah.
Let me see. It might be different.
This is the Daily Mail, Steve. Is that where you saw it?
Yeah. So yeah.
Are they strapped to your shoe or you just stand on it?
You just stand on it.
Oh, all right. Okay.
Yeah. So when those gyros go on, and when you turn things on like that, they're solid. I mean, like you stand on them.
It's a platform.
You don't have to worry about falling down. Now it would take a little practice, but
I think I could do that.
Oh no.
Yeah, I think I could do it. So the funny thing is that I go on irregular trails and I like parkour it up, but I suck at skating. I can't ice skate. My balance and everything else is tremendous. But I look like Herman Munster on LSD when I get any of these things, and it's a disaster. But Preston, you don't think with the stabilizers you think I'd screw it up?
I think you because I've seen you on the hoverboard.
Yeah.
And you can't quite get that. But listen, like the hoverboard and these things, you just keep doing it.
Yeah.
And over time, you'll get it.
I just want to instantly be a world champion.
Okay.
Is that too much to
That's
ask?
the hard part.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, we got to take a break. When we come back, yes, Danny Briere is going to be joining us, and he's got to get on a flight, so we have just a couple minutes with him. So
all right.
We'll come back in a moment and chat with him, get in some other stuff. Stay there.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
Get ready to rock the roof off of Wells Fargo Center next Sunday with Tool. It's an MMR concert event. And it is sold out. But this weekend is your chance to be the sharpest tool in the shed when you grab free tickets from MMR.
One time.
That was during the day.
And we saw
that was a
one, and
mangy
you're
looking
like,
thing.
Dude, don't go near that thing.
Yes.
And here you are feeding this one by hand.
Well,
hypocrite.
That time, Preston, I was dead sober. B, it was a mangy looking thing, and C, it was in the middle of the day.
Okay.
When I had this thing eating out of my hand, I had just gotten back from a wedding. It was late at night. I went outside.
You were feeling good.
Yeah, and we had developed it was a quick bond.
You had an understanding.
How was the wedding?
Yeah, I was like, man, it was a really good time. Do you want some goldfish?
Do I know them? Is his family or is his friends?
No, you don't know them.
I have to say I'm a little peckish. I'd love to talk to you, but I'm not thinking straight.
Hang on.
Can you hook me up?
Yeah, I got some goldfish. You want some goldfish?
Oh, bingo.
Okay, hang on a
Love
second.
it. Yeah, you go get those and I'll find us a place to sit.
Comes back, he's smoking a cigarette. And,
God, look at that sky.
What did I tell you?
Never leaving Delco.
Those things are going to kill you.
I know. It's my one thing, though, you know.
Gotta have a vice.
Gotta have a vice. I don't drink. But this, taking a cool drag on a night like that. It's just everything. Just everything to this little raccoon.
Yeah.
Smoking raccoon.
From Touchstone Pictures, the story of a friendship, an interspecies friendship. Me, the raccoon in me.
The raccoon in me.
Raccoon.
Oh, my.
Starring Casey.
Oh, dear Lord. All right. Let me go to Chico real quick. Hey, Chico, you're on the air. Good morning.
What's the deal, bitches?
Yo, buddy. All right, you have an interesting story. Do tell.
Oh, man. Interesting story ain't the word. When I was younger, I had a girlfriend, and her dad was a prize coon hunting dog kennel. He had a kennel that they would raise coon hunting dogs.
Yeah.
And they came across one that had some babies, so he decided to bring the baby home to the daughter, and that was my girlfriend at the time. And sure enough, she kept it as a pet. And
what kind of pet was it, Chico? Was it good and or was it a handful?
It was a handful. I mean, it was cool when it was little, and like their hands feel funny, like leathery, and, and they would do little things. But she called it. His name was Snickers. Snickers. It loves Snicker bars.
Oh, Snickers.
Snicker bars.
Okay.
And then what the problem what happened was
Love the Snickers.
Yeah, he can bring me my Snickers.
Hey, Chico, hook a brother up with some Snickers.
Yeah, hey Chico, bring me a Snickers.
Chico, over there by the TV, there's a bag full of Snickers. Why don't you sashay over one with two?
What's happening?
Where are my cigarettes?
After my little doobie.
I feel my nice leathery hand.
Yeah, I know. I'll use
When it was little, it would crawl around her shoulders and like hang out in her hair and do all this crazy stuff. But as it got older, it just started doing what it wanted to do. And
it's a wild animal.
And it's a teenager. You know how teenagers can be.
Yeah. Did you ever? So everyone here was kind of thinking. Did you ever look at its human-like hands and look at your junk and think,
looks huge in that?
They got some sharp nails, man. That thing.
Oh yeah. True.
I can clip them, dude.
Yeah.
Just depends on how many Snickers you're ready to give me.
Yes.
You give me a fun-sized bag of Snickers, I'll bring you all the way to the end, if you know what I'm saying. Leather hands and no leather hands.
Nails or not.
Steve, you got issues, bro.
Thank you, Chico.
Steve, you got issues. Chico just called you out.
Chico bailed on his story.
Oh,
Snicker. Please welcome Mr. Peter Hedges.
Thank you.
To our program. Nice to see you, Peter.
Nice to be here.
So you're a ukulele player, huh?
I am. I really rip it up.
You tear up the ukulele. Now, do you say ukulele or ukulele? Because we know that the proper.
I'm just cool.
Yeah. Peter was off air in case it was chit chat with him.
My wife is like, "Really? This is the instrument you chose to pick up? Do you really want to get laid? Because it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
Like, nobody wants to.
Yeah, you don't ever see somebody like Pete Townsend.
No.
It just
and I know
happen.
4 chords, but I can play most songs.
I will tell you this: just as there are gateway drugs, I think this is a gateway to an actual guitar. You know,
That's the way it's worked.
Preston has started with an ukulele and is now learning guitar.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, then I feel hopeful. But after hearing Barnes, I think maybe I'll just let him play because that was awesome.
He was fantastic, wasn't he?
Let me ask you something as a director and a writer and a creator of things like that. Music is obviously an essential part of the way the mood is set in a film, and you're always looking for new things.
Super important.
Yeah.
You know, over the years, I've gotten to work with Stephen Merritt and the Magnetic Fields. They scored my film Pieces of April.
Yeah.
The great Norwegian singer-songwriter Sondre Lerche scored Dan in Real Life. He was 23 when he did the score.
Wow.
Glenn Hansard and Marketta wrote a song for my film The Odd Life of Timothy Green. Music is everything. I write to music. I listen to music all the time.
You know, Stephen King writes to AC/DC all the time.
Yeah, I should probably try AC/DC because I'd have a nicer house. But no, you know, music it's so inspiring. I mean, hearing it just makes you feel so glad to be alive.
Yeah. I love your work. I love your from the writing to the directing. And I think what you do is particularly difficult in that, in the kind of drama and the kind of stuff that you write, you're going down a line where you a little bit to the left and it's treacly, and then a little bit to the right it's too self-aware. You've got it really, I think, of all these genres of film, it's the one that requires you to be as spot on as you can be. Am I correct in saying that?
I think you're right.
Yeah.
It's so tricky, but if you're trying to articulate the human condition, I mean, we're living in such a wacky time, and I try to put these broken people on screen that are, trying their best to do the right thing.
So in Ben is Back, which we're blown away by the trailer. It happens. It's coming at a time. It deals with a young man battling an addiction issue and returning home to his family. Takes place on the holiday, Christmas, and in one day, I believe, right?
That's right.
And so it's, I mean, we hear stories constantly, and it's, we have advertisers that, with treatment centers and things of that nature. It's a critical mass problem. And actually, within my own family, I see, an extended family, I see people dealing with this. You have the dynamic of the family, and you have the Julia Roberts as the mom who wants to do everything they can without enabling, but yet making sure that there's a voice of reason, and every dynamic is in play at the same time. And I would imagine as a parent, I don't have kids, but they all do. You're just a spinning compass. I don't know what you fix on to help somebody you dearly love and don't know what to do.
Right. That's something that tons of people are facing right now. And Julia does this amazing job in the film. She just goes everywhere and anywhere on behalf of her kid. And that's my experience with most parents.
Yeah.
They'll do anything they can to help their kid. And it's just a question of how do you help? What's the loving thing to do? How do you help someone who is, addiction's a disease.
Yeah.
And how do you help treat it?
In my own family, in the situation that I've seen, many different things have been tried. Is this the way to go? Is this the way to go? Right. Is this the way to go? The love never wanes, but it's like at what point you have to the person has to assess. Am I killing myself in pursuit of this? Right. And what about the people who aren't addicted? Are they suffering as a result?
Right.
It's an amazing thing to deal with, and I think even more difficult for you as the writer director to do the just thing when dealing with it.
Well, true, but I wanted to put a story out that shone a light, if you will, on how all the angles, all the points of view,
sure,
and to try to expand compassion that people might have for people who are going through this.
Right.
And sometimes you can't imagine how hard it is.
Yeah.
Oddly, though, there's incredible amounts of humor in the film.
Yeah.
There's a lot of love. There are these kind of surprising moments of joy.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of heartbreak and
like life.
agony. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and you're the guy to pull it off. I mean, because About a Boy does that so wonderfully. There's heartbreak, there's hope, there's a lot of humor in it as well. In fact, it's hard to categorize that movie. There's so many funny moments in it that it's hard to categorize that as a drama as well. Just to point out, I mean, like, how did you have the idea of Will going to a women's support group to pick up women?
Well,
had you heard of someone?
No, that's the genius of the great Nick Hornby, who wrote the novel.
Right.
Oh, okay. You did the screenplay. That is correct.
No,
okay.
no.
Yeah.
But Nick wrote this amazing novel, and they called me and said, "Do you want to adapt this?" And I said, "I don't want to do. I want to do my own work."
Sure.
And then I said, well, finally, they called a few times. I said, well, "What's the book about?" And they said, "Well, it's about this single guy who goes to," and I said, "Oh, you've got to send it to me right away."
Yeah.
And it's one of those books I read. I went, "Oh my! I wish I'd written it." And so all I tried to do was be help move it. And then the Weitz brothers came in and did their beautiful, beautiful film of it, and took what I did and improved it, I think, massively. So, but I got to swim around in that story, and I just tried to serve it, which is what you try to do when you're working on anything like that. It's just to be helpful.
Your mother's a psychotherapist?
She was.
She was a psychotherapist,
yes.
And your dad was
an Episcopal priest. Yeah.
So I think your empathetic ability to tie into things that at least resonate.
Right. I was groomed.
Yeah.
You had a good cry. That's what I was basically.
Right.
Raised to be that guy who got beat up and was like, I love everybody. I'm a vegetarian.
Here's a ukulele.
Yeah, here's a ukulele. You can see that there's a real motif here.
Were you a sensitive ponytail guy at any point?
I never a ponytail. I did have a kind of a Mick Jagger moment where my hair was long, but I didn't have any of Mick's swagger. I was too sweet. I was the nice guy.
Well, we love your work. Really.
Thank
do.
you.
It's
What
a
a pleasure,
pleasure
to
meet you.
have long and robust conversations about me.
About
I really,
You love me. You really love me.
And now I'm going to sing. Let's go to commercial.
Well, we brought up some ukulele music for you here.
Oh, great. Yeah, my wife's getting ready with the nightgown. We're going to have some fun.
She gets so turned on.
Oh, it's so over.
Oh, this is great. It's final
This
countdown?
is the final countdown on ukulele. I don't know why there's a piano part in the beginning here.
I like the piano, though.
It is
That's
kind of
good.
fun, though. I don't know when it's going to kick in here at any point. But listen,
You're killing me.
I will remind people that
I'm going home.
this could be part of the soundtrack.
Yeah,
for
there you
Ben is
go.
Back. This could be the closing credits song. Oh, there's a kazoo, too.
Thanks so much.
All right, so anyhow. Oh, you want me to keep going?
There you go.
All right, so in theaters.
Oh, no! No!
He did it! He just told us to F off.
Oh, God, how much did that cost me?
Oh, my God.
No, we're good. We got
I caught it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
You raised the double birds.
I'm the son of a minister.
Oh, this has been a great day.
Oh, my God.
There we go.
great.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ben is Back is in theaters December 21st. That's Peter Hedges. We'll take a break and we'll be right back. Steve sent over a link. It is from Cosmopolitan magazine. Cosmo.
Cosmo is my my magazine.
That's your jam?
Yeah,
You're a
it's
Cosmo
how
reader?
it helps me pick my outfits on a daily basis.
And
I'm a Cosmo girl.
the article is titled 65 Fun and Cheap Dates That'll Put Dinner and a Movie to Shame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? We don't have to spend anything. Let's just stay here.
So do you want me to go through a few of these?
Some are actually
Some are okay.
some are okay.
Some are silly.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's
I mean, there's 65 of them. They had to fill up a lot. Fun, cheap date ideas to put dinner and a movie to shame.
yeah, sometimes it won't put movie and a dinner to shame, but let's go through it. Let's see what we got.
Go to an open house.
I love this. I do this. Do you do this?
We can date, Steve.
Yeah, we could. Let's go ahead.
Yeah, that's fun, and you get to see what people live like and what they have in their medicine cabinets.
I am nosy as F when it, like at night when I walk around and people's houses are lit up. I'm looking in windows.
Right. You know,
I'm going inside.
Nick, what kind of panties they have.
Sure, yeah.
All kinds
Thank you.
What's under the bed?
Go to a coffee shop and read together.
No,
that's
I'm out.
ridiculous.
These are the worst suggestions I've ever heard.
You do
first two were
Kathy, you do
okay.
every one of these.
Go to an open house?
Yeah, that's your
What?
thing.
Loser.
Yeah.
Okay. Go to a coffee shop and read together.
Look at this. Look at this picture. So they have them reading together. Do me a favor. If you see me doing that with my wife, come up behind us and put 2 bullets in our head.
What we're looking at is 2 people reading the same book at the same time.
Are you done with this page yet? I finished ahead of you. Let's go home and bake.
That would end in a fight.
Yes, it would.
Hey, Stevie Wonder, why did you take a crack at speeding it up a bit?
Go to a dog park together. It says yes, even if you don't have a dog.
That's crazy.
Listen, the other folks wanted me to come over and ask, what are you doing here? We think you're perverts. Dog parks are fun. There's pretzel park right
Flight,
now.
but we're excited because he got a promotion.
Yeah.
And is in a new position. He's the special assistant to the Flyers GM. Please welcome our friend, Mr. Danny Briere, to the show. Hey, Danny.
Thanks for having me on.
You bet, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I mean, I can't be much happier than what's going on these days.
Yeah.
It's super exciting to be staying in the area.
Yeah. Now, listen. What was your official position, your official title before you've been named special assistant to the GM?
I was part of the development staff with the Flyers,
Okay.
and I was also president of the Maine Mariners, our ECHL team in the Comcast Spectacor family.
Nice.
So now I'm going to slowly start to separate from that a little bit and focus a little bit more most of my time on the Flyers moving forward.
Yeah, and is this something that you that they approached you with, or had you kind of been looking to move into this position?
No, I mean it's something what happens is with we're in hockey, and I've been around, and the Mariners are in the same family, so I was always around, and then I would help out at first with different little tasks, with helping with players, whatever they needed, sometimes with training and stuff like that, and got more and more involved. And then they asked me if I wanted to get involved with some of the young guys in player development, get to know them better, and then the role just kind of evolved more and more. And then I've been very fortunate. Chuck, Barry, and Brent would include me on a lot of the meetings that they would have. So I kind of been doing that role, some of that role for the past year and a half. It's just that I was splitting it between, the Flyers and the Mariners, and I couldn't commit full-time only to the Flyers. So that's what's going to change moving forward.
Okay.
Danny, I love the Flyers, and this season has been tough. I mean, they had a 13-game losing streak. They had a 10-game losing streak. And there are so many challenges that sometimes you look at the team as a fan and you don't know where to start. But I want to give you an idea as to where to start. and I have no idea if this is a possible solution or not. But honestly, like, watching the power play is just awful. And I'm curious as to what if you could wave a magic wand when you watch these guys come out on the power play, they can't enter the zone well, they can't get established, they're not getting shots. Well, what would you do to fix that issue?
Well, I think it's all the confidence issue, right? When the team is playing better, usually the power play follows suit and it gains confidence. But vice versa is also true. When the power play gets you going, like last night, we had a power play early in the game, and we didn't create that. Right after we tied the game up, we had the chance really to take over and score another goal or create some momentum, and we couldn't even get in the zone, like you said. So it goes both ways. I think the confidence is an issue right now. Guys are squeezing their stick. They know nothing good. They have that bad image in their head going on the ice. It's been a frustrating season all along for everybody. But you got to try to find some positive. There's different things. Sometimes when you have a bad season, opportunities that'll show up in front of you, and we'll have to jump on.
It tends to be, at least in my mind, is not like, and congratulations, but with you guys and what you're trying to do with the team, to me, it's like steering an oil tanker, because something that you do, you'll see the results in a while. You know what I'm saying? And that's it's hard to not be impatient. Is that something you have to deal with?
Well, that's as a player, as a coach, you're living it day to day. You want to win in the moment. In management, like you said, that's a good analogy. When you talk about the oil tanker, it takes time, and sometimes it's slow, and you gotta visualize, sometimes 3 months, 6 months, 2 years ahead. So that's what we'll try to do. The fact is, too, is this year we've been hit by injuries like I've rarely seen before. Our top 4 centers to start the season have barely played games for us this year, which is amazing. When you think about Couturier, Hayes, Brassard, and Patrick Brown down the middle, that's a pretty solid center line, and we've barely seen any of them. And what happens too is now you're moving Giroux to the middle, you're moving Lawton in the middle, and it weakens your wings. So it's frustrating. Ellis is a big blow on defense as well, because it reshifts everybody else in a different position on the depth chart. So look, those are excuses. I know about it, but hopefully we'll have these guys back in play soon. If it's not this year, definitely next year.
Hey, on the other side of the coin of the injuries, you've got a guy who's bulletproof on the team, Keith Yandel, and him breaking the Ironman record. I mean, I feel kind of bad for the guy that it happened in the middle of such a slump, but it is it's a great positive story and you, with your years, playing the game, have to be amazed at somebody that can play like that and never get hurt.
Oh, I can't even imagine playing so many games in a row. I mean, it's an amazing feat. Like, I don't know if people understand how that is possible. You have to play so many. It's like 12, 13 straight years without missing a game. It's simply amazing. And it's a feel-good story in the middle of a terrible season, but definitely try to rally around it a little bit and try to feel a little better, because there's been so many negatives this year.
Yep.
You have a really difficult job ahead of you. You have a difficult job now, and I could never do what you do. So I asked this question knowing how difficult it is. But there are trade rumors right now with Claude Giroux. You know, he's the longest tenured captain in team history. He's the longest tenured athlete in Philadelphia at this point. He's really likable. He's an all-star. He won the MVP of the All-Star game. You know, the list goes on and on and on. What do you think about the trade rumors, surrounding your friend, Claude Giroux?
Well, it's a situation. We've put ourselves in that position with the way we play. Going into the season, we never thought that would even come close to. We'd have to think about that. But things have changed. Now I try to put myself in his case, and we're a month and a half still from the trade deadline. I think it's a little too early to start speculating on what he wants to do, because ultimately he has the decision. He has a no-trade clause, so he has to make that decision if he wants to go or not. But it's too early for that. He wants to win, and I know as a player, if I was in his case right now, I'd be looking, all right, is there a way? How can we win the next 4, 5, 6 games and slowly creep back in? That's how you're thinking as an athlete. You're all so competitive. Realistically, it's going to be tough to make the playoffs, and it's probably going to be a tough decision that we'll have to make when we get close to the trade deadline. Well, probably a decision that he will have, a tough one to make when we get close to the deadline, unfortunately.
Well, Danny, that now that you're in the position that you're in, just guarantee him a Stanley Cup this year, and he'll probably stick around.
Well, one thing I can tell you is, look, he's been our best player again this year. He's amazing. Whatever happens, hopefully he's on the team next season and he's back with us. He should be a Flyer for life.
Yeah.
He's been the face of the franchise for so long. So we hope to keep him around. There's no doubt about it.
Yep. You're at the airport. Where are you headed to now?
I'm going out west. Part of my first official trip for the team in that new capacity. So it's exciting.
Nice. Excellent. Well, listen, Danny, we're really happy for you. We're really proud of you. And I love the fact that people like you and Scotty Hartnell and some of the other, alums stick around, make this their home, make the team their profession, and it's great, this hiring within. So we were happy to hear the news, and we just want to pop you on real quick and say congratulations in person.
Awesome. And I have to say, you guys made my day with that song this morning. That was Flying Machine Gun. It brought me back to the locker room before games, getting ready to jump on the ice.
Excellent.
I appreciate that.
Awesome. Love it. Anytime. All right, Danny, good luck with everything. We'll talk to you soon, okay?
All right. Thanks,
All right,
guys.
take care. Danny Briere. Great guy, man.
Yeah, it was
great
cool.
player, too.
Cool
Wow.
having him come to camp out this past year with Scotty Hartnell and Brad Marsh, and it is great when they stick around and make Philadelphia their home, and for him to get this position is a really cool thing.
Yeah, Marissa was saying Scotty was doing color commentary last night.
Yeah, he was in the booth.
Normally he's just in between periods and kind of getting a little insight and maybe an interview.
He'll do some analysis in between periods, pre and post game, that kind of thing with Taryn Hatcher for NBC Sports Philly. But last night, Jonesy, I think, was doing a national game, or maybe he's doing getting ready for the Olympics. I don't know. But anyway, Scotty was in the booth with JJ, and it was cool. It was cool to hear him, be a part of the game.
Yeah, you know what? If he really wants to stand out being a broadcaster, he should try using this thing when he talks.
Oh my God.
And he would sound different than the other people when he does this.
That is pretty cool.
When he does color.
Yeah.
Casey's been playing around with this. It's a massager.
We know people down there. We could take that to, probably generate some ratings at this point,
Or I can give him one of my clever phrases.
Yeah,
It's
sure.
otter.
Yeah, they're having a tough time on the. I can't even think straight when I have that thing stuck
It
in my
rattles your
head.
brain.
It rattles your brain.
I haven't seen how high it goes up to. You have it up at 12 right now.
Let me tell
Does it
you,
go even more than that.
the mistake that people made, because I got one for my wife last Christmas, and it looks like it's a bigger one. It looks like a nail gun. You need to be holding it against you when you start it, because on some of the intensity levels, if it's going and you push it towards your skin, it hurts like hell.
Here, listen.
That's pretty cool. Do it again.
Casey, it's up to 30.
Okay, is it?
Preston.
You like that, Kathy?
No, not at all.
Does it go higher than that?
Put the
No, 30 is as high as it goes.
put the recorder in your mouth and put that in your butt.
Oh! In your butt?
Yeah.
Okay.
Try it now. All right.
Oh my God, you're like Jeff Motel right there, dude.
Wait,
do it.
I'm going to play.
Wait, do you want me to hold it for you?
Yeah.
You are so talented.
Yeah.
That
I
is
play
cool.
with my nose.
Oh my God.
Yeah, same thing.
It's like when Hendrix would play behind his head.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay.
It's good.
So when I first saw those things, I was like, is that a
I'm scared.
personal massager
For
for the
the-
Let me put it on my
ladies?
junk. We'll find
For
out.
your balls.
Ooh.
Yeah?
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
touching,
I haven't
that's
done
touching
that
my
yet.
willy.
I would have to imagine that it would serve the same purpose. The ball attachment
No, it's like that's like a jackhammer. No, it wouldn't.
not powerful enough.
You can slow it down. I mean,
Yeah.
like now it's at a much more manageable level.
Oh,
Did you ever see the movie
Like
First Men on the Moon? The alien talks like that.
oh really?
That would be annoying after a while.
Come closer.
Come closer.
Yeah,
That almost made me gag.
you
dude.
probably just lodged your esophagus.
So that was that's only at a 1?
Yeah, that's one.
Okay.
Okay.
It
So the-
gives you a different sound at 1 than it does at 30.
Yeah, very much so.
The one that we have is the one all the way to the right. The similar that looks a little bit like a
The
nail gun.
Theragun Elite Ultra Quiet.
Oh.
It's not so quiet.
Oh, really?
Do the do it by your cheek and go do the like the wow wow thing. Yeah, that sounds like a didgeridoo.
Yeah, it does.
Wow, wow.
Do that do.
Why,
That
yeah.
didgeridoo.
Okay.
You should have saved that for show and tell, Case.
Oh, they goddamn it.
We have talked about doing show and tell
You know what?
on the
I was.
program, and I can't find anything I want to show
Neither
you
can
or
I.
tell you.
There's
about.
one thing, all the stress of school came back to me like, I have nothing for show and tell.
Oh man, when I was a kid, I wanted that. I was excited for show and tell, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring something to show
Totally.
it off.
One
but-
year I brought in a full, real Civil War sword.
Yeah.
It was a different time.
Yeah, you told me, and I told you guys I brought a bayonet one
Yeah, yeah.
time, and I brought a a de-bombed incendiary bomb from the Vietnam War.
Dude,
Oh, yeah.
I bought it in a army surplus store.
Me and my dad had all sorts of
This
World War
big
II. Yeah.
orange thing was about 2.5 feet long, and it was a bomb. It was literally an incendiary bomb.
when I was in 6th grade, we had to do commercials. We had to, we picked a product, and it was a group project, and we would do these. We did this live, and this one group of kids, I think their commercial was for, Doritos or something like that. Dude, they brought in, beers, and were cracking beers in 6th grade, Kat. Cracking. I don't think they actually drank them, but they, cracked
Oh, my
open
God.
beers in the classroom.
Yeah.
Different time.
Different time.
Well, rather than playing with that, I did
Take that off your balls.
I did take it off your nuts. I did notice a few things this morning that I think are worth bringing up to you guys. I think you guys. Yeah, I think so.
In
Because
honor of the big game this weekend, the noticer called an audible.
you know what, I can do a story
Have some football stuff?
I could do something about the big game. Yeah, so.
So stupid, the big game.
I know, dude.
That's
I hate
ridiculous.
it. And I get it. I understand why. I understand why they do that, because people want to have, a Super Bowl party or things where that is the focus of it, and that is a branded name. But they tried to brand the big game
Right.
as well, which is, come on, dude.
Didn't go over
Give us
well.
something.
But in this conversation, we can
We can say
fine.
Super
can
Bowl.
Yeah,
We're
okay.
not giving anything in
Right, all
conjunction
right.
away with it. We're not.
Like,
we're
it would
not,
be inappropriate for me to mention that I'm selling all sorts of Super Bowl memorabilia
Yes.
out of my car.
Right, yeah.
You can't
For
do that.
profit.
Yeah, for profit.
Right.
At prices have never been lower. But that would be wrong.
Right, yeah. We get in trouble.
But you're not really doing that. So, all right. So, 3 friends who have attended every single Super Bowl are hoping for a memorable contest this year. It might be their final trip to the game as a group.
I was aware of these guys, and this is sad to hear you say this, that they're thinking in these terms, but they're just being practical.
Yep. So they are all in their 80s, and they've attended every game since the first AFL NFL World Championship game was held 55 years ago. Wow. And they are meeting at the game once again this year, but future meetings are in question. Now, I don't think they went to the game together. I think they found out about each other as the years went along.
Right. They became aware because of
Yeah.
different news coverage of what their accomplishments.
So Don Chrisman, a Maine resident and the eldest of the group at 85, said that this is his last game. Gregory Eaton, who is 82 of Michigan, wants to keep attending, but said that his health concerns could get in the way. And even Tom,
That was a direct quote.
even Tom Henschel. That's all he can say, by the way. He just does
Are you
those.
excited for the big game?
He just repeats those in
All right,
Morse
one
code.
bar for yes, two bars for no. Do you have to go boom boom?
Okay.
Oh my God.
Even Tom Henschel, a football fanatic who spends the cold months in Florida, said that Super Bowl 60 in 2026 figures to be his last one. So he's
Well, good.
eyeballing that one.
Listen, you don't know what they'll come up with.
Yeah, this one is at the. I mean, I really want to go to the stadium in L.A. Was it
it's gorgeous
SoFi
looking.
Stadium? Is
Yeah.
that what that? Yeah.
By the way, they're saying that it may be the hottest Super Bowl on record.
No
It's going to
kidding.
be mid to upper 80s.
Huh.
Wow.
Yeah, they're having a big heat wave in California.
Conan
right now.
O'Brien had a tweet yesterday, the day before, which was, "I hope L.A. Rams fans make the drive all the way to L.A."
You're right. It'd take you 3 hours from some places of Los Angeles to get there. Chrisman and Henschel first met at the 1983 Super Bowl, and Eaton met them decades later. There you go, in the mid 2010s. And their small club of fans who have been to every Super Bowl has dwindled over the years as other members have passed on.
I mean, how do you actually get a ticket for the Super Bowl at face value?
Oh, wow.
How do you do that?
Good, damn good question.
Do you want to know something? That notion is so weird that I've seen stories about that.
Yeah.
They will cover how, because people ask that question all the time, because I don't ever even entertain that as being a possibility, right? You have to go through third party, or you have to be
like our tickets. Do you buy them? Or I don't know where the Super Bowl is next year, but can you buy tickets like as soon as the season starts?
Well, hold on. How did it work when the Eagles were in it? Weren't certain season ticket holders offered first, and it was very few amount, but weren't they offered first at face value?
I don't know.
That's a good question.
It sounds right what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't know. And by the way, can you physically buy tickets for any sporting event? I guess you can. There's still box offices, right? You can just walk up to the window and buy a ticket if they have them,
Well,
right?
although you often can't get actual tickets anymore. It's e-tickets for so many. Like, I think the Eagles, Casey, they didn't have any physical tickets this year, right? It was all all e-tickets on your
all
phone.
e-tickets, yeah.
Although I got a physical ticket for the Eddie Vedder show on Friday night. Yeah, so there was a piece of paper.
What can I say? I like old school.
You guys know I'm a hard rocker, so I was at a concert a couple of weeks ago for Casey Musgraves.
Right.
And I don't know why they can't do this for season ticket holders. Everybody that walked in got a bracelet that lights up, and it just, it makes the light show great. They should be able to do that for Flyers and
Was that
and
so? That was your
Sixers.
admission?
No, but they can put all that stuff in. Listen, Disney World, and when you went to Universal, did you have a wristband? Like when you go to Disney, they give you and it's not like a plastic wristband. It is a nice wristband that has all your stuff on.
We
there.
had like a guide. We did that thing to make sure
Yeah,
that
but
we
they didn't have the scan for everything. I don't
No,
think
I
Universal.
provided about a cup full of seminal fluid.
Okay,
at that
did
time.
they ask for that, or did you just offer it?
What's that?
Did they ask for it?
I came with it. I didn't know. Yeah, here
Just
you go.
in case.
Yeah, you did.
No, but like at Disney, they give you a wristband, and
They make
you
it
can.
feel like you're not spending money. That's the reason.
But they could do that at Sixers games. That could be your. It could be.
Yeah, but think of the cost of that. That costs Disney. That's going to cost Disney. But like I said, it's like you're not spending money, so it probably is very profitable for them. I don't know if it would be profitable for the Sixers to get those for every single person that enters the stadium.
So one thing I had heard is that if you were to put all of your information on there, like if it was a payment system, because that's the other thing is like people, and they will be, people aren't prepared fully to be cashless, and those places are cashless right now.
I go cashless a lot, but I still like a physical ticket.
But like even parking is cashless now, Steve, and it's causing I know, and it's causing major problems. At least I've noticed the last few times I've gone to Sixers games where people trying to get into the parking lot, they're not ready. They have their cash ready, or And when we went to the last game I went to, the guy that was behind us, we were together. He didn't know it was cashless. He only had cash, and if we weren't in front of him, he would have been screwed, right? So we ended up paying for him, with our credit card, and he gave us cash. But
I'm going to go to some calls,
Okay.
but Steve, you doing that Eddie Vedder thing made me think of this. I seem to recognize your face.
Pretty good.
It is good.
Not bad. All right, hang on. I want to go to Sean because he can tell you about the Super Bowl tickets, I believe. Hey, Sean, good morning.
Matt Damon.
Yes, and a Matt Damon to you. What's up, bud?
Nothing. Kathy was on the right path. I had season tickets actually when we went to the Super Bowl back in the 03-04 season, and the season ticket holders get put in pretty much a raffle. And if you get picked, you have the option to buy the Super Bowl ticket at face value.
Sean, I think I remember from the Eagles situation, it wasn't that many. There weren't many tickets offered up that way, were there?
Not that I'm aware of. I don't know the number, but I mean, obviously we didn't get picked. But me and my two buddies who had the tickets, we established that if we actually got picked, we would sell them and pay for multiple more season tickets.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, listen, that's essentially what I did for the playoffs that year. Is I sold my divisional round playoff tickets, and they paid for my it paid for everything. It paid for my NFL and NFC championship tickets.
Okay.
Wow, you call yourself a true fan? We went to every playoff game night.
I watched it.
Thank you, Sean. Hang on, Michelle. This is another way to do it. Hi, Michelle. Good morning.
Good morning. On the same order as Sean, if you're a non-season ticket holder, you have to apply by June 30th of the season before. Say if 2022, if you want to go to the 2023 Super Bowl, the NFL has an address on their website, and it's like a lottery. If your name is picked, and you have the option of buying 2 tickets.
Okay, at face value.
But you have to be a season ticket holder for your team?
No.
No.
No, you can be a Rams fan from Philadelphia.
Okay, it doesn't matter. Okay.
Doesn't matter. You just have to have your name in the lottery.
Okay. Well, that's a long shot, obviously, a huge long shot. Thank you, Michelle. We appreciate it. The Masters is that way. You have to enter and hope that you get picked, and that's kind of the way it is.
Think about something that has nationwide appeal. Like we always say, I'm going to try to get tickets to the show, at the theater. Okay, well, what if the entire rest of the country was interested in doing that as well?
I always forget to do it for the Masters. I need to do it. I entered one year, and I didn't get picked, and then I was like, oh, this thing's rigged.
Yeah.
So I never did it again, but I should do that because it's one of those events I'd like to get to at some point in my life.
Kevin, hasn't he? He's been, right? Has he been to the Masters?
I think he went to the Masters, yeah.
I thought he went to the course. I don't know if he went to the actual.
He was there for maybe the practice round.
Practice round or the par 3 round or something like that.
Also, lest we forget, they did give away wristbands at a Flyers game one time, and that didn't end well.
That did not end well at all.
So, you got to be careful about who you're giving the wristbands to.
Yeah. And that was...
That was a playoff game, and they were light up wristbands, and they.
It was Ed Schneider Appreciation Night, or something like that. You remember?
And I think they lost like 7-1. It was an awful playoff game, and so fans were not happy, and they threw the wristbands out.
It was like Mike Schmidt boomerang night.
Did I say Ed Schneider?
His friends called him that.
Yeah,
Mr. Schneider.
Schneider.
As far as the Masters are concerned, or any PGA big event. Do golf pros have more of an in to get those?
I do not know.
I'm thinking, Preston, I just was looking at the schedule for the Masters this year. You could go this year.
Listen, there are services that you can get, like going to the Super Bowl. You can find where you can buy and pay a ridiculous amount of money and do it that way if you want to.
So I'm about to ask a very ignorant golf question, but I think I was wondering if this had ever happened and if this was ever something that was ever invented and tried to get some momentum on.
Okay.
A golf club where the club is constantly intact with an interchangeable head. So you basically have the one.
Oh, we have one shaft?
Right,
for every. You don't want to do that because each club has a different size shaft.
Okay.
And
I didn't know
sometimes they have a different flex in them for different situations. So,
some are growers and some are showers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you see a 9-iron next to a 5-iron, the length is completely different.
All right. For some reason, I didn't know that.
Nope. But
stupid
some people do have all their clubs made the same length. It's rare though.
Some guys just use a 7-iron.
Yes, they do.
That's all you need.
That's damn it. Tin Cup. Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Didn't our old boss have an in at the Masters? Sorry, John Fulham. Wasn't there a connection there? That
He went there.
I thought he had a connection.
Might have known a member. He probably does.
He was his Bagger Vance was his brother.
Oh my God! All right, I noticed something else.
Something else on the noticer?
Yeah, this I'm glad we have a chance to talk about. Adidas is putting it all out there to introduce its new sports bra collection. Is that what you were hoping for?
No, well, I know what this is. I've seen the story. Yeah.
Yeah, they tweeted a photo yesterday of a grid photo of 25 different pairs of bare boobies.
Yeah, they did.
Bare
So
breasts.
no sports bra?
No. It says the caption read, "We believe women's breasts in all shapes and sizes deserve support and comfort."
There you go, Kath.
Huge freaking hooters, huh?
Which is why our new sports bra range contains 43 styles, so everyone can find the right fit for them. They were just showing how women's boobs come in all different shapes and sizes.
And that is a legit claim that women, like I hear women, we've talked about buying like a bikini top and you know, you can't, there's the difficulty of having a uniform size that's going to fit everybody.
Oh, and I hate the sports bra situation. For me, there is one sports bra, one type of sports bra.
To lead them all.
No, that fits me, and they don't make it anymore. So,
who was it?
as
Who was the maker?
Who made it?
It was Under Armour.
Oh man.
And as I go on and, kind of have to get rid of them as they get old, it's like my collection is dwindling.
There was a mixed reaction, with some cheering the ad and others criticizing. One person suggested that it was, quote, just another shock ad designed only to generate revenue by using women's bodies. Adidas defended the ad, tweeting, "It's important to normalize the human body and help inspire future generations to feel confident and unashamed," adding, "It's perfectly natural to have breasts. We are happy to celebrate that and won't be taking this down, so we can keep doing so."
Well, it's like their ad they ran last week for their nut shaver.
The nut shaver.
Yeah.
Where was it, though? 'Cause
Listen,
I don't see it. On
this
their-
is two birds with one stone.
Twitter.
This is exactly, they're doing that. They're using a shock ad, but they're also at the same time maybe desensitizing a little bit of body
They're getting
issues.
The main
It's
thing, they're
great.
getting press.
Yeah.
And listen, and this is an issue that many women do. Well, you just said, Kathy, you have a problem.
Yeah.
I'm not offended by this at all, but I am offended by this other ad that they keep putting on my my Instagram feed for these pants. I wear Adidas pants almost exclusively these days, and dude, they're great.
As far as warm-up pants, they're great.
They're these awesome warm-up pants that have like cool designs on them. So I click on it, dude. They're only available in like extra small. I'm like, stop advertising this nonsense.
Well, you're just late to the game.
You might get there.
Well, Kat, they keep advertising it. And it's like, stop advertising this thing that I can't buy.
Well, maybe they're out of stock right now.
They want to sell what they have left.
I
There are
I
extra
understand.
small.
You got to eat it, Adidas.
But to only have extra small?
I don't know, man.
Maybe they're very tiny
It
over there.
does suck when you find something you really, really want.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm a T-shirt guy, so I'll stumble across a T-shirt and they don't have the freaking size that I want, and it's just annoying as hell.
That and so
go to a shoe store and they don't have your size.
Oh,
Hate
you see,
that.
I will wear.
you guys are not good shoppers.
I know.
We could find that
Can
for
you,
you.
on the difference of online and going and actually being able to try it on? So, and that's the dilemma.
Yeah.
The sometimes even though, and you'll check that chart where people report on how accurate what they expected it to be and what they got, and see their rate of success. So a lot of times, like I will wear a large, and people will be surprised like that because I guess I'm perceived as bigger. And then other times, Preston, they're all over the place. The thing that really kills me too is when they describe the fabric, and I like this softer material. Like this T-shirt has that softer material.
Yeah.
The stuff that they usually do that have logos on it it's that sort of very stiff.
So what I need to know is the name
What
of
is
that
that?
softer fabric T-shirt.
Like this,
What is the
Kathy.
actual name of that? Because you can change the different kinds of shirts you get.
Right.
Say you're ordering from like T Public or something like that.
What's the soft?
What is the name of that softer material shirt?
So you either need to look at the brand of the shirt or probably the material.
Yeah.
Like you need to look at a
But
shirt.
it'll say like higher quality.
Yeah.
No.
What does that mean?
No, I'm saying like the actual percentage. Like look at a shirt that you like and see what it says, 100% cotton or whatever, and then the brand along with it. So if you're buying just something that's printed on a T-shirt, the brand name will be on the T-shirt as well.
So is
like
a polycotton blend is not going to be good or?
Well, I don't know. Like, I don't know what you guys like, but yeah, that's what you would.
So you're saying if I have a shirt at home and I like the way that material feels, I need to look on that tag, and that will tell me.
Yeah, that will help you. Like, look on the inside, like the percentage of cotton that's used to make the shirt, or the percentage of polyester
I've
or
had that-
cotton blend.
I've had that though.
Rayon.
Not work out sometimes. Like I'll order and I think, okay, this is going to be. It's got the logo on it. It's got the Batman picture on it that I want, or whatever the hell it is. And then you get it. It's like one of those cheap ass shirts you'd buy
man.
like a convention.
I ordered what I thought was a great shirt, and it turned out it was of George Harrison, and it was a transfer.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I don't want that. I wanted a
Go
silk
straight to
screen,
hell.
You know?
that was
And what about
That was kind of like when we sent out the Kathy's fall activity shirts. We
What, did it
remember
just
one
wash
year we
off?
did. It was like it was like somebody put a sticker on a shirt. We were like, "What the hell happened?"
Sometimes when that happens, Preston, they're not even on the shirt. Like if I get like a quote, I'll get a quote, and the quote is off center.
Kill somebody.
I have a picture of Sean Connery from Rush with Love, and it's off.
It's off
a
center.
couple inches off my left nipple, and I'm like, "You rat bastards!"
Preston, I have a question about this Adidas ad, though. Is this the only place where it's being displayed? Is on Twitter, or like is it showing
I
up?
believe so.
Is there a billboard?
Because they
Did
can't.
I hear-
They certainly can't put it on Instagram.
Twitter, Nick, is the Wild West.
Absolutely.
They clamp down on all sorts of speech, but they love. I will open up Twitter, and there will be full porn running.
So again, it's pretty smart by Adidas to put it there. I'm just curious as to whether or not it actually shows up any place else.
Not that I've read.
so.
Okay.
Not
Probably
that I've read.
in some of the scholastic books.
Gotcha.
Hang on. Andrew wants to help us out with what to look for in a T-shirt. Hi, Andrew. Good morning.
Nice beaver.
Thank you for noticing.
beaver.
What's up, Andrew?
Guys? So the really soft T-shirt you're talking about, it's a tri-blend tee. It's made of cotton, polyester, and rayon.
Okay.
And it's usually like Next Level brand makes it, but it's definitely the most popular T-shirt when you're talking about that soft.
Tri-blend. Okay, that's it. I've never, because sometimes they'll give you if you want to upgrade the quality of the shirt, and I've not seen tri-blend. If I shop initially for tri-blend T-shirts, hopefully that'll be what I'm looking for. Hopefully that'll be what you're looking for.
Thank you, Andrew. We're going to also go to another T-shirt expert. It's Jesse. Hey, Jesse. Good morning.
Hey, Gadzooks, guys.
Gadzooks, bud. Hey, was that guy right? Is the tri-blend what you think we're talking about?
That's correct. Yeah, it's a poly rayon cotton blend.
Okay.
And then
Oh, they killed him. They killed him. He wasn't supposed to tell him.
We need T-shirts.
I'm sorry. Return. Yeah, we lost you for a second. Go ahead. Jesse? Okay. Wait a minute. I think Jesse fell in a manhole, is what happened. I think he was walking along, and he fell right into a manhole.
Hey, what are you doing on that phone over there?
Jesse?
Hey, Jesse!
No, we lost him.
Oh, that's a shame.
He just like a water pipe or something.
All right.
But he gave us what we
So
needed.
if that's the T-shirt you like, then you have to specifically look for that when you're buying something.
Marissa brought in a guide here. It says soft, softer, softest. So soft is cotton, 100% cotton. Softer is polyester cotton. And then softest is the tri-blend, which is the rayon.
Tri-blend.
Polyester.
And by the way, the soft, which is cotton, is probably what you guys don't like.
Really?
Yeah, I think I'm wearing cotton right now. I mean, you really have to like wear it a lot in order for it to kind of break in.
I do not want to break in a shirt.
Yeah.
I've got to get my goofy picture out to the world, and I need to do it quickly.
This is almost soft. I'll bet this is the polyester cotton blend. Casey, can you look on the tag here because it feels good. I like this shirt, but
Casey.
it's not all the
You
way
guys
there.
have a weird relationship.
Yeah. Give him a little kiss on the back of the neck.
Listen,
Oh, he did.
we've vacationed together. Thank you.
Dude, I was talking
You
about
smell nice.
Look at the tag.
All right, I'm looking.
stop.
It is polyester, rayon, and
There you go.
Tri-blend.
Tri-blend!
And cotton.
I don't see.
No,
what
it says
is-
spam.
Wait. 50% polyester, 25% cotton, and then 25% rayon.
There you go.
Tri-blend!
That's it.
It's a shirt.
Wait a
Thank
second.
you.
What's the remaining 20? What'd you say it was?
No, he got
25,
Okay,
25.
that works.
Thank you, Brandywine Branch, for giving me this shirt
Nice.
from Revivalist Booze.
You do T-shirts right.
You do T-shirts right, exactly. All right, so good.
Tri-blend.
That's
All
good. We
right.
learned
Tri-blend.
something. We learned something. Tri-blend.
Tri-blend.
And that's what you want. Try. Oh, by the way, Acme just arrived.
Oh,
I've been handed
they
it
bring
out.
shirts?
They did not bring shirts, but I think they brought a bunch of booze.
Oh, even better than
I think they did. They were supposed
We
to.
can take our shirts off now.
Yeah,
All right,
we
I'll
can,
do it.
We can see how much fray is on Kathy's sports bra.
So yes, they brought some Valentine's Day goodies. I haven't seen what they brought yet, but I'm assuming it's some candies and flowers and booze.
Chocolate-covered strawberries.
Strawberries.
Yeah.
Oh, love strawberries. Acme's got you covered with a full-service floral department for custom-made arrangements and premium bouquets. Plus, with their wide selection of beer and wine, Acme is your one-stop shop for Valentine's Day.
That's true.
By the way, you can get 12 long-stem roses for $21.99. A strawberry shortcake heart cake for $8.99, or 6-count fresh dip chocolate-covered strawberries for $8.99, by the way. So
Okay, so
there you go. You get everything there.
That little floral setup at the Acme.
Oh, yeah.
It's very competitive.
Yeah, I
Very
agree.
competitive.
I agree. Okay, so let me see what else I noticed here for noticing things. Can I do that?
Wait, can I just say something really quick before you move on?
Stop.
No, it can kind of. It just.
You want the
give
theme?
me-
I'll give you the theme.
No, I want.
More sports bra talk?
No, I want the challenge. If there's a T-shirt or your pants or whatever that you guys can't find, send it to me. I'm going to try to find it for you.
Okay, I'm going to go back to what I meant earlier about not finding the size of shoes. That's shopping in person. Like I go to a Skechers store.
Right.
And I find, okay, I like this style, and then they don't have the
May I
size.
recommend
It hasn't
something?
happened often, but when it has, I've been like, damn it.
Would you
But I can find it
listen
for
for a nominal fee? Wouldn't you hire Kathy to be your personal shopper?
Personal shopper?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I meant. Pay me, and I'm going to find you the T-shirt and the shoes that you can't
Okay,
find.
all right. Here you go. Here's another story I noticed. If you are getting
Happy
set up
and you know it?
for a dating profile, you may want to include your dog. Pet Care Marketplace. Rover recently surveyed more than 1,000 pet owners who had used dating apps and found that 76% of them said that they would be more likely to match with someone who featured a dog in their photos or bio.
Yeah, this is something that I've seen pop up often, where that's sort of the thing. Walk through the park with your dog. Preston, I think there is actually a dating app that is exclusively for pet owners.
Yeah, I would imagine so. I mean, they have them for farmers and fishermen.
And they
so
have
why not?
They have animals.
51% of single pet owners admitted to including their dog in the dating profile in hopes of increasing their chances of drawing a potential match, and 24% had no shame in admitting the dog in their photo wasn't their own. The dog breeds singles deemed most likely to positively influence matches were golden retrievers, Labradors, cockapoos, cocker spaniels, and border collies. So yeah. And like you said, Steve, if you have a puppy and you're walking around in public,
forget it.
The women will flock to you.
They'll be throwing beaver at you.
I always thought there should be like a rental business. Like if you're going to take a walk around Rittenhouse Square looking to pick up babes,
Pet share.
Rent a puppy.
Just put them in the bike rack.
So last year I was walking around Cape May, and I was going to pick up my my daughter and her friends, and I brought Reggie with me. What I didn't know, Steve.
Oh my God, where'd you get that huge dog?
What I didn't know is actually you're not allowed to have dogs on like that Washington Square. I had no idea that you weren't allowed to.
Oh, Washington Square?
Yeah, that
Really?
Washington. Yeah, I don't know if it's called Washington Square or not, but
What,
anyway.
like the cobblestone.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you're not supposed to have dogs, but it was, I guess so. But it was late enough that there weren't a whole lot of people there. But anyway, I'm bringing Reggie, and I mean, every 10 feet I had to stop. I had to stop for people to like pet him and
Oh my God, what's his name?
Yeah.
My name's Mandy.
Fortunately, he doesn't draw attention to himself.
No, dude. But you know what? He loves people. Like he just, whoever is newest in my house, that's his best friend.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. I noticed this other thing. And this is kind of sad. We chatted briefly about this last night. Barry Diller's IAC Interactive Corp is ending the print editions of Entertainment Weekly, In Style, and 4 other titles acquired from Meredith Corporation last year, turning them into digital-only properties.
I got Entertainment Weekly for years.
Me too.
Yeah.
For years.
I
and
loved it. It was such a nice little snapshot of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
And that was probably Actually, I used to get a ton of magazines delivered to the house, but the last one that held on for the longest was Entertainment Weekly.
Yeah, and
because of what we do.
I would use it for the show, and I would regularly just rip pages right out of it and have it in my stuff for on-air fodder.
I mean, like Steve, there were kind of spoilers before there were internet spoilers, but like, you know, when you get a teaser issue about, say, the next Star Wars movie or whatever, that would be my go-to. I would turn to Entertainment Weekly, and that was one that you would keep for the week and always look forward to.
And then
it.
they would do the multiple covers on a movie.
Yeah.
One of the few magazines I still flip through is Philly Mag. We get it sent here.
Likewise.
And I like the physical copy of the magazine.
Yeah, me
and
too.
listen, I will use the digital version for, to look about things for like City Beat and so on that are going on in town. But I like that. I like being able to hold it and flip through. When I'm on an airplane, I always pull those magazines out and flip through them a little bit. you know? So
do you when you're
it's sad.
When you're at the beach, do you have a physical thing that you like to kind of like finger through?
I tried taking a novel. That doesn't work at the beach for me. It's not the time. I like to people watch.
Yeah.
I like to look at the ocean.
Sandcastles?
But what we will do is crossword puzzles.
Yeah.
Because you can set them down, you can jump in and out.
Yep.
So yes, I do like to have something to work on.
When I was lifeguarding in summer '96 and summer '97, I was doing apartment pools, and a lot of times it was dead. There was
Like
nobody
nobody
there, and so and I had a subscription to Entertainment Weekly, and that I just loved it, and I had and I kept them all, and I ended up wallpapering a couple of my walls in my bedroom with the covers, kind of weird, but. Also,
I used to years ago. My father would get the New York Times for the jobs listings and all that stuff, and just to keep up on the business. They were, at that time they were kind of the paper you went to for that. But inside they would have full fold-out recreations of the movie posters that were opening.
Kidding.
And I put those up. I mean, it was just great. That physical copy, that that tactile sensation. But, what are you going to do?
I used to, it wasn't Entertainment Weekly, but I would put covers of Modern Drummer magazine.
Okay.
I would cut those out and hang them up on my wall. But you had a wall completely covered by them?
Yeah, so I lived on the third floor of my parents' house, old house. And so there were a ton,
Did you ever do the Yellow Pages?
Never did the Yellow Pages. That would look
the Bible?
pretty cool.
Plumbing section.
Yeah.
No, but there were a lot of different angles. And because there was a third floor, so there were diagonal ceiling walls. What's that called? Vaults. Okay,
vaulted ceilings.
So, I was able to sort of decorate with that.
Okay.
I like the way it looked.
Well, it's sad that they're hanging it up. So the New York-based digital media company told employees at Entertainment Weekly, in style, eating well, health, parents and people, and Espanol will be available only online.
I just subscribed to Espanol
in April.
Philly Mag Press, I think, is the only magazine that I actually still read. I'm trying to think of any other mags that I actually.
Straight Sutton?
Well, I don't read it. I
think
look at the pictures.
I think Entertainment Weekly hasn't even been weekly for a long stretch. I think it's been monthly.
Oh,
right. And so they didn't. It's one of those ones where sadly people don't need it anymore, and
They don't.
and subscriptions are plummeted.
Watching Pam and Tommy, the show, Seth Rogen's character in the first episode is flipping through the TV guide. Trying to see what he can watch on TV, and I'm like, wow. Because that's a throwback.
TV Guide was, and we had it delivered. And it was like I would tear into that. I would learn that I knew the schedule backwards and forwards. That's the beginning of a couple of cable channels. Now there'd be no way you could do that. You'd have to be some sort of savant.
Yep.
I mean, listen, the stuff we have, the immediacy of everything, is great.
It's great.
But there's something cute about all that stuff.
I agree.
Like the guillotine.
Yeah,
pretty
we missed that. The move, by the way, first reported by the Wall Street Journal, reflects the declining circulation and revenue for print media as audiences continue to turn to digital devices for their content, of course. And the consumer shift to digital accelerated during the pandemic as well.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Kind of move things along.
Didn't want the filthy magazines coming in your mailbox.
Well, that's too bad. All right, well, listen, that's all I'm going to notice for now. We'll do noticing another time. We will... Today's Thursday, right?
Yeah,
buddy.
Are you kidding me?
I just realized that.
What's the matter?
It's just tomorrow's Friday.
Tomorrow's Friday.
And it's almost Friday already.
And it technically is late Friday night right now.
Yeah, it is. You're right. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be back in just a second. We got some B-File stories for you, friend.
You mean like Halloween or
No, it says-
beauty masks?
It says everyone cares about their skin.
This
Everyone.
sounds like things to force your boyfriend to do with you.
That's what I'm hearing. Throw a party where your guests BYOB.
That's a lot of
That's
work.
not a date.
That's not a date.
That's
It's
not a date.
stupid.
Start binge watching a new show together. That's
kind of
what
obvious.
that's at home.
Yeah, that's standard.
Here we go. Do a puzzle together.
Oh no! I hate puzzles.
Well, I'm okay with this one.
Are you?
Yeah, puzzles are fun.
Let's do a puzzle.
There was a while where we had just like a puzzle on the table that was whenever you wanted to go over and work on it, it was
my
there.
gosh. That is like a nightmare for me. That's a mess on a table that stays and doesn't leave.
You should have seen her face. She's rolling her eyes.
It's almost like the "Are we having sex?" face. Ew.
Pre-sneeze.
Kathy, the perfect puzzle to get if Dennis ever makes you get a puzzle to do is make sure that when it's put together it spells out "I want a divorce."
Seriously.
So that just looks like a mess to you.
I kind of agree. That's why I hate puzzles. There's always a piece missing.
Have you ever gone to a psychologist to check to see if you're OCD or?
No, I haven't.
Wait right here, Miss Romano. I need to go into the other room.
I've not officially been diagnosed.
All right.
I know that I've actually had the the therapist did the ADD stuff on me, and I have a whole bunch of things working.
Yeah, we would leave a puzzle laying out on the table, and the whole family could work on it from time to time. You could do it on your own, or everybody
throw
would
it
kinda
out.
sit there and we worked on it together.
Yeah.
And it's fun.
It's not necessarily date activity. It's
Kathy.
more family activity.
Yeah, it's not a date activity.
I would do this into the garbage.
Seriously, I'm just thinking, this has been here for a month. Is anyone going to finish the puzzle?
Mommy's so much fun. How come these balloons were not inflated?
How about this? Take a bunch of personality quizzes together.
Oh, that'll be great.
Won't that be
Yeah,
fun?
you are a little obsessive. What did you say? Well, you never complete a jigsaw puzzle.
By the way, these are 65 great cheap first date ideas. Go on a guided tour together. Nick, you had mentioned that one. Here we go. Wake up ass early and watch the sunrise together.
No.
Thank you. Make breakfast for dinner. That can be fun. That's good for a family. No, Casey says.
Hey, look, we're having cereal.
Oh.
That's not crazy. Normally associated with breakfast, but we're having it now. It's over, isn't it?
It's over.
Go for a run.
Go for a run.
That's not a
I'm
date.
going to go for a run, and I'm not going to stop.
That's exercise. See a movie at an off time.
Let's go at 4 o'clock.
Like,
isn't that crazy? We're living on the edge. It's over, isn't it? I have some cereal in the car.
It's over, isn't it?
Keep running.
The next guest's film is not premiering until November 21st, but if you had partaken upon all these movies that are available, you would have gotten to see his movie last night because there was a screening of it.
Yes.
And we are happy to have him back in our studio yet again, and he's brought you so many great films in one way, shape, or the other over the years, Up in the Air, Thank You for Smoking, Juno, Whiplash, just to name a few. And now, here to talk about the front runner, we have Mr. Jason Reitman. Hey. Good to see you again, man.
It's good to see you. I just really feel bad for your audience that, they were listening to all these great stories about sex injuries, and then you're like, let's talk about art film, guys.
Well, this way we can say, hey, look, we're well-rounded, and this gives it credibility. Even if we're not well-rounded, we give the illusion of being well-rounded.
I almost buy it.
Congratulations on this. There's a lot of buzz over the movie, which is called Front Runner. It's the story of Gary Hart's run towards the presidency and the beginning of a I think, and as you rightly point out, and I've read interviews with you about the film, it was sort of a flashpoint for when news became tabloid and things that used to sort of like in the Kennedy years, the press sort of said, you got your personal thing, we'll cover it to some extent, and then, or even before, there were some things that just were not. Let's focus on the politics, and this is what we're here to talk about. But then it became something wholly other. And I remember as the Gary Hart story was unfolding, and it just now, of course, we have a multitude of news sources, but the country was focused. And so, like in 1 week, a guy who looked like he was going to be the next president, it just came crashing down.
When I heard the story, I just thought, oh, here is a thread that leads us to 2018. When we try to imagine, all right, when does this moment start? When does tabloid journalism drive into the lane of political journalism? Here you have the story that is this kind of great pH test that reflects both sides of the audience.
Politics always surfaces in movies if it's done right because it's compelling. It can be very compelling, and The Candidate is a perfect example.
I have a tattoo from another movie of the same director.
What is it?
It's from Downhill Racers, the poster from Downhill Racers. So I am
awesome.
I'm really nerdy. Yeah.
That's very cool. So, but is that in fact the case?
It's not cool, but I appreciate that. But anyhow, look, it became this way to kind of understand today, and it's this thriller of a movie that touches on gender politics, that touches on the relationship between journalists and candidates, and that line between where our public life becomes our private life.
Right.
Before we got on this conversation, we were talking off air. We're headed to London tomorrow. What should we do while we're in London?
Are any of you guys Harry Potter fans?
Oh,
100%.
Yeah, Nick is massive fan.
Okay,
we're all fans.
They took the 2 stages where they shot the film at Leavesden in London, and they've turned it into this Harry Potter experience. And look, I'm a cynical guy, right? Like, I may thank you for smoking. That's who I am. But I filled with positive glee walking through the Harry Potter experience.
Really?
They have everything. They've like broken it down to like every one that was built, every set that was built, how they did the characters. You have butterbeer. It's sincerely magical.
Is it one of those things you got to get tickets way in advance for, do you think? Or
all right, I'm going to be a tool right now.
You pulled strings.
I just called someone at Warner Brothers. But
Son of a bitch.
So first become a famous filmmaker, then call your connection at Warner Brothers.
Wasn't we're close friends with Jason Reitman?
My rule is always first be born the son of a famous director.
Okay.
And then everything will just line up perfectly.
What if you're a producer on a radio show in Philadelphia and you have a guest who's been to this thing? Can you ask that person to ask somebody for something?
Live on the air, of course you can ask.
WWE is in town, Monday Night Raw, and we want to welcome to our studio gentlemen who will be there. Ladies and gentlemen, Elias is with us this morning.
Thank you. Hello, I am Elias.
Nice to see you, sir. Is this your intro music or?
No, so this was a song off of my debut EP album that came out. It was one of 4 songs that I released. It's called Walk With Me. Went all the way up the charts on iTunes, beat out Taylor Swift and Post Malone, Panic at the Disco, the whole thing.
That's just amazing.
Nice. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
I'm going to turn this up a little bit. Hang on.
But I know where you're gonna be. You're lost in this crazy world, searching for your destiny.
Very bluesy and soulful and kind of dark. And
that sums me up real well right there, man.
Very
Yeah,
Johnny
good.
Cash-esque, too.
Very much so.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
That's cool, but also it gives you an advantage, too, because you can smash guitars over people, too.
It is. It's very nice to
John
have
Cena,
that weapon with. Exactly.
And this is you playing guitar as well?
Yeah, there's actually a nice, we don't have to get to it, but a cool guitar solo coming up that I also did, yeah. Well, yeah, it's all me.
Hey, you know what? With that, and obviously, wrestling is your trade. It's where you make your money. But you also want to have a music career. Are you careful with your hands when you're in the ring?
Yeah, of course, man. I don't want anybody to target these things. You know what I'm saying? I make my money in the ring, but also with these. You know,
it's
in
your
many
cottage
ways.
industry. Well, you have Chris Jericho and Fozzy. You know.
Yeah, sure.
So,
yeah.
I mean, this is not.
You know, he's the singer though. I don't think he plays any instrument. As far as I could tell, I don't think Chris Jericho plays any instruments. So
Right.
You know,
but I mean, they've got some good traction. It's not out of the realm of possibility.
Oh, no, Fozzie's doing great, man. All over the world, those guys.
With the WWE, it's all about the marketing and the fans enjoying it and getting everybody out there to have a good time. You talk about the different people that come out. I was at a Raw event one time, and there was this woman, like it seemed like in her 70s, going ape-ass. I mean, the age range is astonishing.
Sure.
Who comes out to you? But who would you describe as the core Elias fan?
Man, I mean, a core Elias fan is anybody that believes that WWE stands for Walk with Elias.
There you go.
That's all that
Walk
matters
with
to me,
Elias.
man. That's all that matters to me. And the world screams it at me every week when I tell them. So, I gotta say, man, people come, they let loose, they let go, they just enjoy the show, and nothing's more enjoyable than an Elias performance.
How long have you been wrestling with the WWE now?
So I've been in the company for a little over 4 years, and I've been on Monday Night Raw for, I gotta say, maybe a year and a half now. Something about that.
Is that when it steps up to the next level? Because I assume there are certain levels of WWE.
Absolutely, yeah. Monday Night Raw is the pinnacle of live television for WWE. Live TV every single week, millions around the world watching, tens of thousands in attendance, whatever it may be.
It's amazing.
How hard do you have to work as a performer to build a fan base?
So for me, it's been pretty natural progression from where I was in NXT, which was our kind of our where you are right before Monday Night Raw, before SmackDown and stuff like that. So I was starting to build something there, and then when I exploded onto Monday Night Raw, the world got to see kind of who I am and what it is, and you build an audience from that point on. So for some people, it comes very natural. Others, it's very difficult, but that's all part of the game.
Well, you wrestled the independent circuit for a while, right?
Yeah, I was on the independents for a few years before I got scooped up by the WWE, probably about 4 years, yeah.
Listen, what you do, there's injuries are part of the deal. And, I've been ringside, and his blood's not fake. You guys get, you'll get your asses kicked sometimes.
No, yeah.
But there are people in place to make sure that you're taken care of. How lawless and unchecked is the independent circuit, and when you're just working your way up?
Well, you're gonna come across all different kinds of things. Not only when it comes down to the performers, maybe not being as trained as they should be, or things like that.
That's what I'm thinking. Guys who don't know what they're doing can really,
But you've got rings, and that might not be up to quality.
Sure.
The thing said, though, the level we're at, people get hurt, man. I could tell you. I myself, it just was a random situation in Nashville a few years ago. I had a guy come off the top rope, land on the side of my shin, and snap my tibia.
You're a bit of a renaissance man, and not just the music, but you're an artist as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, I do a little bit of it all. I play all different instruments. I wrestle. I paint, of course. Guess you're pulling up my
it's
Instagram.
Pretty damn good, man.
I found one. It's very Bob Ross-ish.
Yes.
I'm looking at one that's which is beautiful, and Bob Ross kind of gets I guess chucked aside, but he did some wonderful things.
And he was Muay Thai, Preston. He fought in the octagon. Yeah, absolutely.
I had no idea. Is this stuff that you do do you have time to do this while you're on the road, or do you gotta do that at home?
So if I have any time,
we got stories. Here we go.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
All right, sponsored by Horizon. You can install your new heating system as soon as tomorrow, or it is free at horizonservices.com. Well, again and again, this gal, Hannah Catton, told doctors that there was something wrong with her body. And again, she said that the doctors dismissed her concerns. They didn't listen in late 2018 when she told them about her frequent urinary tract infections. They didn't listen months later when she returned to tell them that she was having irregular periods. And they didn't listen when she complained of bloating, constipation, and diarrhea.
Holy hell.
Catton was telling them her body was in rebellion. Almost a dozen physicians told her otherwise. She was young and healthy, so it was probably nothing, just a little too much stress. One told her that she was overweight and losing a few pounds might ease her symptoms. But almost 3 years passed after her symptoms first emerged, during which she saw about 10 doctors. And then in October, she collapsed in pain and took herself to the emergency room. And from one of her ovaries, surgeons pulled out a cancerous blob weighing 4.5 pounds.
Oh. Jesus.
And stretched nearly 8 inches, about the size of a volleyball.
What?
So this is growing all the time, and they're just poo-pooing her.
Yep.
Yeah, man,
Catton,
wow.
who's now 24, wants other women and doctors to learn from her experience. Women should learn the warning signs of ovarian cancer and forcefully advocate for themselves.
Is she okay now?
She's all right now, yeah. Doctors need to become better versed in recognizing the symptoms, she said. Most importantly, Catton said physicians need to listen to the patients instead of dismissing them, like Dr. Mike was saying
said.
earlier this morning. Casey, can you hand me that tumor here? Thank you. A drunk truck driver drove through a red light, rammed parked cars up against buildings, and caused some of them, including a house, to catch on fire. 3 people were hurt and 31 vehicles were damaged in this rampage. This took place just outside of Nuremberg, Germany. The truck driver first skipped a red light, hitting a car that was at a crossroads, carried on without stopping. Shortly afterwards, the truck plowed into several parked cars, pushing some of them into the walls of nearby buildings.
I bet he was racing home for Jeopardy.
As a result, several cars, the facade of a house, and the truck itself caught on fire. People inside of the house were evacuated, and police identified the truck driver as a 50-year-old Turkish citizen with no permanent residence in Germany. So
What the hell?
Obviously facing some legal issues. All right, listen to this, man. A large bull moose spent more than an hour stomping on the sled dog team of a rookie Iditarod musher in the wilds of Alaska last week. And the attack didn't end even after Bridget Watkins emptied her gun into the animal.
Why don't you forget the moose for a moment?
This one kept on coming back. She said on Facebook Friday that the moose, after seriously injuring 4 of her dogs, wouldn't leave, and the ordeal stopped only after she called friends for help, and one showed up with a high-powered rifle and killed the moose with one shot.
Wow.
But just days later, her 4 dogs are on the mend, and she's back training with the other ones.
I'm honestly amazed that any of them survived.
Yes.
I mean, the moose is a large animal.
Why don't you forget the moose for a moment?
Watkins said the attack happened while she was on a 52-mile training run for the nearly 1,000-mile Iditarod Trail sled dog race. And it starts March 5th in Anchorage. She said, as he charged me, I emptied my gun into him, and he never stopped. I ran for my life and prayed I was fast enough to not be killed in that moment. He trampled the team, and then he turned on us. Watkins said that she and a friend who was trailing her on a snowmobile took refuge next to the snowmobile. The moose stopped its charge toward them about 2 feet from the snowmobile, and she managed to cut free 6 dogs that were tied to the machine. But the moose went back to the sled and began stomping on the dogs that were still tethered to it, standing over the dogs and trampling them repeatedly for over an hour.
Oh, my
God. Why don't you forget the moose?
The fact that they survived.
Yeah. She said, I've never felt so helpless in my life. He would not leave us alone, he even stood over the top of the team, refusing to retreat. She called friends, and the moose was shot and killed after one arrived with a rifle. Alaska state troopers had been preparing a helicopter to respond, but stopped doing so.
You can't fit a moose in a helicopter.
After they were told that the moose was dead. Her 4 badly injured dogs, Flash, Bill, Bronze, and Hefe, were taken to a veterinarian in the nearby community of North Pole and are recovering. By the way, another famous tale of a musher's run-in with an angry moose happened in the 1985 Iditarod when the late Susan Butcher came across one while she was leading the race. She used her axe and a parka to fight off the moose, but it killed 2 of her dogs and injured 13 others. Another musher came along and killed the moose, and she had to withdraw from the race, but later won 4 Iditarod races.
Yeah, listen, if I'm doing Iditarod, I'm bringing a high-powered rifle with me.
Damn, man. That's crazy. Wow. A group of people, this is a terrible story, were skating on a northern California reservoir when the ice broke and 6 of them plunged into the frigid water, including one who was later found dead. The body of the skater was found 37 feet under the water.
Whoa.
The group of 8 were skating at the Stampede Reservoir north of Lake Tahoe. When the accident happened on Saturday, the 2 who didn't fall helped the others but couldn't find a man who was the farthest from the group. One of the people who fell in the icy water dislocated their shoulder and was taken to the hospital and released later on.
Did you see that footage of the woman who jumped in? They were doing like a plunge thing. They cut a hole in the ice. She jumped in. They misguessed the current flow under the ice. No. She jumped in, boom, under the ice.
Yeah, I
Gone.
think it was a while back,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I remember that. A dive team searched the reservoir, and emergency responders flew over the area, but they weren't able to locate the missing man
horrible.
until Sunday when his body was recovered. Yeah, it was terrible.
We did a positive moose story.
A positive moose story. Yeah, I don't have one of those, and that's all I have for now. on the Bizarre File. Sorry, man. But we do have a moose question.
Oh.
So I'm going to go to the phones real quick here. I'm going to go to Eric. Hey, Eric, good morning.
Hey, you guys rock.
Thank you, Eric. What you need, man?
It has been bothering me for years, and I have texted, I have called, I have never been able to find an answer. Where does that moose clip come from?
Why don't you forget the moose?
Because
For a moment.
this is really going to make you laugh. I swear it sounds like Mo from the Three Stooges.
It sounds like Mo from the Three Stooges. Hit that again, please.
Why
Chris.
don't you forget the moose for a moment?
I can see a little bit.
All right, so it was a character named Bert Johnson in the movie Arthur. Okay, so
The original or the remake?
the original. So Arthur is goes to meet this guy. He has asked this woman who he doesn't want to marry to be his bride, and he goes to meet the father. And Arthur is drunk.
Yes.
And he's in like the trophy room.
Right, yeah.
And he keeps referencing the moose on the wall, and the dude has just had it at that point.
Yeah.
And he
That
tells
is
him to forget the moose.
hysterical. I have to go watch that now. That's the reason why I wanted to know. 'Cause you're going to laugh at this too. I'm going to be 50 this year. I've never seen Arthur.
Oh,
all right.
It's a good movie.
It is a
It
fun
might be a
movie.
bit dated, but it's a good movie.
I definitely want to see it, especially now that I know where that's going.
Okay.
Thanks a lot, guys. You rock.
Hey, no
Thanks,
problem.
man. We'll see ya.
The original is much funnier than the remake. And,
Yeah,
and,
I didn't like the remake. I didn't even finish it, to be honest. It wasn't that
Russell Brand, he was trying, but it just wasn't the same.
The one scene I did like in it is because Nick Nolte plays this character, the Bert Johnson character, and Arthur is in this room. He thinks he's alone. It's construction's being done, and he finds a nail gun, and he starts popping off rounds. Well, on the other side of the plastic, Nick Nolte's character is there, and he has two of them embedded in his chest. Blood's coming out. And so he's this really tough old man. And, like, he doesn't even acknowledge that they're there. He's just standing there, and he's got blood pouring out of his chest while he's talking to him. So, all right, anyhow, we are going to take a break. We are going to come back in a moment. We'll have a lesson question for you and trash and music news when we get back, so make sure that you stay with us. Be right back.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
Any kind of free time, it's just another creative outlet for me, but definitely not painting on the road. That would be nice.
Well, dude, if you can smash a guitar over people, imagine you bring in that little paint spatula that he would use. You just jab it
Do
in
some
someone's
serious
throat.
damage there.
Yeah, you could do a bunch
That's right, yeah.
paint brushes and stuff. That'd be cool.
I have to ask tonight, will Miss Rousey be part of the show?
Ronda Rousey will be in the house tonight. She'll be at Philly. I'm not sure what she's doing. She's got some issues going on with the Bella twins after last week.
It was sort of brutal.
Called them a bunch of untrustworthy bitches, I think.
I believe those were her words, exactly.
It didn't sound good.
I love her. I have such a crazy crush on her. It's ridiculous.
Ronda?
Yeah.
She's fantastic, man. She's come into WWE. She's lit the place on fire. And above all else, she walks with Elias, so I'm a big fan of hers.
All right.
And Elias, it seems that she did the right thing. You come in. She didn't come in. She didn't come in like. Well, I'm entitled. She earned the audience a bit and did her deal. Correct.
Well, you know what? She's shown the world, aside from her amazing background, right? She's shown them that she is passionate about what we do also.
Yeah.
And it's, if you could be real on TV, the fans, the people, they will see that, they will feel that, and they'll either connect to you or they won't, man. So, and I think she's just been real and she's been true to herself, and that's just a huge key in what we do.
I have to ask, when it's all going down, when the production's on, and it's the cameras are rolling, because there's cameras backstage as well and stuff like that. Is it now such a machine that there's no here go, or is there ever you're running around is it pandemonium behind the curtains there as you're putting on the whole show?
I'm not sure what you're referring to.
No, I mean in other words, as you're getting everything ready, as you're doing the because there's a backstage area.
Like preparing for the show. What's it like?
Right, yeah.
It's different every single time you show up, man. You know what I mean? It's just it's a machine, and then it's the human element. You know what I mean? And they're coming together, and you got to make a big show. So there's all kinds of stuff.
That's what I was wondering.
It's several hours long, so you guys, it's a long day of work for everybody, especially the crew, the people that puts all that stuff together and make sure that everything runs properly. But when you're waiting for your match, when you're backstage, wherever they have you guys set up, are you watching what's going on, or do you just wait till your show?
No, I'll be honest with you, man. I'll keep an eye on what's going on, but usually I'm in the back. I'm playing guitar. guitar, just kind of getting in my own mind as to whatever I got to do for my performance tonight. You know, sometimes I like to take a pre-performance nap.
Yeah.
If I can, get in the right mindset.
Yeah.
Or, you know,
I knew I
sit
liked you.
sit tease to get my voice ready. You know, whatever it may be, I'm doing my own thing.
Great to meet you. Thanks for coming by here.
You got it.
Have fun tonight. WWE Raw tonight. A team of researchers from the UK and Spain has found evidence showing that, contrary to popular belief, the orgasm face is not the same as the pain face.
I think they're different.
Yes.
I would think that my O face is different than a pain face.
The researchers created a computer program to mimic a wide variety of gender-neutral facial expression. And they started with mathematical models that have been developed for animating faces, and it included a core set of 42 movements representing different parts of the face.
Jesus, this is a scary... These computer renderings are pretty horrifying.
Aren't they? They're weird looking.
They're terrifying.
So in this research, they asked 80 adults, half male, half female, to determine if the expressions showed orgasm, pain, or something else. They used the results to build better models and then asked another 104 people to assess the simulated facial expressions. The researchers found a clear distinction between perceptions of pain and pleasure. Most of the volunteers agreed on which was which, but there was more to the study. The volunteers had also been divided into two cultural groups, half from Western cultures and half from Asian cultures. Both groups saw clear differences between orgasmic faces and pain faces, but they differed markedly in what they saw as the face of a person experiencing an orgasm.
So we're looking at 4 computer-generated faces here. It looks like they're at a Dane Cook show. They're just smiling and sort of chuckling.
Those from here's how it played out. Those from Western cultures tended to choose wide-eyed expressions with gaping mouths.
Yeah.
Asian volunteers, on the other hand, chose smiling faces with tightened lips.
Yeah.
This is really great.
It sounds like a bowel movement. All right. Well, what do you imagine, if you can, for me? What would you imagine your face looks like?
Oh God, I don't want to know.
I think I'm kind of like, you know, like, you know what I'm saying?
I think I have I think I have an open mouth.
Do you like wide open? Really?
Oh, something like that.
It's so funny that you have no interest in seeing your own face.
No, my God.
But seeing
people who videotape themselves having sex. No. Are you kidding me?
But seeing your partner's face, seeing your girlfriend's face or your wife's face, like that's a turn on, though. Like I am turned off by my own face.
I think I look like Bogart.
Somebody texts and says, O faces look the same as pre-sneeze faces.
Yeah. 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 A little bit. Yes.
I'm making my pre-sneeze face. No, I don't look. There's no way I look like that.
Maybe you
Let
do.
me see your pre-sneeze face, Casey. Stop it.
Do it again.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna make you sneeze so hard.
Sneeze all over your face.
I'm gonna sneeze all over your face.
Oh, that's so gross.
Sorry, just sneezed on your back.
God, I'm gonna sneeze all over your face.
Kathy, there's a question for you. What would
Sneeze
you
on my
rather
face.
have
I'm
all
gonna
over your
sneeze you a pearl necklace.
Sneeze
I
on
think
my
the
face.
sneeze face might be accurate.
Really?
A little bit.
I
yeah.
purposely didn't ask
Yeah,
them.
all right,
Yeah, I want to see your
my
pre-sneeze face,
All right,
please.
hold on,
All right, I know you're laughing.
Okay,
but-
all right, all right.
Serious.
This is Kathy's orgasm face.
Second.
Do you think Guppies is still open?
Oh my God.
What time does Target.com close?
Oh my God, will this ever end? I'm so hungry.
Target.com?
That closes?
Last week, well, I already said that.
No, do it again.
Tell us the golf ball story again.
Do it again with a British accent.
No.
What?
The first North American. The first North American tour. Oh my God.
November, December, January, February.
But then a young ingenue came in to turn everything around. Kathy Romano stars in Let's Go to Guppies. Starring Bill Bill Weston as the program director who hates her mentioning guppies all the time.
Okay.
God, that's a Dawson's Creek.
Oh, yeah.
She had another hit, didn't she? Where Have All the Cowboys Gone? Was that the other?
Paula Cole?
Was that Paula Cole or
Where have all the cowboys gone? song?
I remember that song. I wasn't sure if that was her or not. Nick, you'll have to look that up. I did like some of her stuff.
She had hairy pits. Do you remember that?
Yeah. She
That
was
a big thing.
She was.
I thought that was her father.
That was her father, Harry Pitch.
I'm a private detective. Have you heard about my girl?
Name's Harry.
She sings the title song for Dawson's Creek. The sun sunk into the sky like a pearl in a bottle of Prel.
What?
You remember that commercial?
No.
So random.
Nick Stevens has singles or releases or music video.
Where have all the Cowboys gone?
Yeah.
Yeah, Paula Cole. What am I looking up now?
It was the kind of yellow you'd see on an office window where people smoked a lot.
I didn't see the title at the top. I just thought that was the Paula Cole page. So yes, Steve,
Right.
she did indeed do.
Thank you.
Where have all the cowboys gone?
I'm out.
You're out. Aw.
It's Friday, late Friday.
It is. It was late Friday.
It was late Friday. I ate all over, except I just won a marathon. Kathy came into the office. Told me she'd made reservations at Guppy. Bill came in, prattling on, something about third leg of the stool.
Can't take it, man. Oh. It's his directorial debut for the film Wildlife. Please welcome back to our studio after 6 years, Mr. Paul Dano. This morning. Good to see you, Paul.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. We appreciate it. Listen, so your directorial debut, and also you wrote the screenplay or co-wrote the screenplay. Going into this, what kind of expectations did you set for yourself? That's a big, big, big project.
Yeah, it is. And honestly, directing is such a long journey and such a big experience. I think you're just sort of setting expectations one step at a time.
Okay.
So honestly, at first, you're just trying to write a good script and set yourself up with a foundation that you can feel good on. Then you're just like trying to get the actors to say yes. Then you're just like trying to get the money.
And we're talking years and years, and we're talking about what, about like 4 years?
I would say so. I read a book called Wildlife by Richard Ford, who's an incredible American writer.
Right.
Probably 2011 or 2012, and started turning this thing over in my head, thinking, okay, can this be a film? Can this be a film for me?
So do you immediately option it because because I know how these things play, and you want to make sure you have it, correct?
Correct, but I did not immediately option
Really?
it.
Okay.
Yeah, because I sort of wanted to make sure that I had something to offer it. Also, because I sort of do admire Richard Ford, I really wanted to sort of know that there was a film. Just a good book doesn't necessarily make a film, so why make a film of it? And when I thought of the ending for this film, which is different than the book, that's when I optioned the book, because I sort of knew the final shot sort of gave me the energy and the courage to sort of actually do it.
It's very cool because I think when you take, so you and Zoe Kazan co-wrote the screenplay, and it was, from what I understand, it was a back and forth process, and that actually, you kind of took a very long run at it at first, and she sort of helped you, whittle it down and get to that point. But you sort of got the blessing from the author of the book to just make it your own property. And at that point when that happened, you have a sigh of relief? Because I think the onus would, or you'd feel sort of you'd have to be as faithful to the source material as you out of respect. But when he sort of cuts you loose, was that a breath of relief? Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, not only because I like his work, but he basically said that my book is my book and your picture's your picture.
Oh, that's
you
great.
Need to establish your own values, and that sort of immediately gives you permission to sort of follow now what the film is, and you have to. He had the great bit of wisdom that you can't just sort of translate a book and make it into a film. And my partner and I, Zoe, the sort of story there is that I wrote a first draft. I secretly thought it was pretty good, and then I gave it to her, and she quickly dissuaded me.
Wow.
As friends too. As good friends too.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is not as good as you think it is.
Hiring for the day. One of those things will be to get you the letter of the day for the word of the week. That's coming up in a tad bit, so don't miss out. We will give that prize away tomorrow. In the meantime, we have something else to give away right now, and that is, for the lesson question, a pair of tickets as MMR rock Steel freaking Panther. They're going to be playing Saturday, April 30th. In Atlantic City. They'll be at the Sound Waves at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. Tickets go on sale this Friday. The question I have for you this morning is, Steve has an X-Acto knife and a flashlight and is very good at what medical procedure? 215-263 WMMR. Steve has an X-Acto knife and a flashlight and is very good at what medical procedure, if you heard it and you know. You should call now. 215-263-WMMR. We'll wait for that call. Here we go with
The
this.
trash business is a gold mine. 93.3 WMMR with Preston and Steve's Hollywood Trash.
And it is brought to you by Family and Company Jewelers. If you are ring shopping this Valentine's Day, visit Family and Company Jewelers on Route 70 in Marlton, New Jersey. Online at familyjewelers.com, South Jersey's diamond destination. What's up this morning, Steve?
Well, Tom Brady just retired, and already he's suggesting he could be returning to the NFL. Brady says he instantly realized he made a mistake while holding his wife's pocketbook in a Michaels. Rapper Nelly has issued an apology after accidentally posting a video to social media of a woman giving him oral sex. While you can't see Nelly's face, you can clearly see that there is a Band-Aid on his left testicle.
Oh, my God.
He likes that Band-Aid.
Got to be him.
Yeah. And finally, a beaming Caitlyn Jenner recounting meeting her new grandchild while visiting daughter Kylie in the hospital. Caitlyn says while she couldn't rock the newborn to sleep in the maternity ward, she did the next best thing and rocked the entire hospital. That's your Hollywood.
All right, we'll go for an answer, see if we can get one. Steve has an X-Acto knife and a flashlight and is very good at what medical procedure. I will go to Owen. Hey there, Owen.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Owen, what medical procedure is Steve proficient at?
The tracheotomy. The trach.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
We'll call it a trach.
That was adorable. Hang on, Owen. Tracheotomy. And we are going to give you a pair of tickets to see Steel Panther Saturday, April 30th at Soundwaves Hard Rock Hotel Casino, Atlantic City. Tickets are on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. via Ticketmaster, and you can click concerts at WMMR.com for information. Let's do music news.
Preston and Steve's Music News on 93.3 WMMR.
All right, it's brought to you by Penn Distributors, and you can join Casey at Colmore Beverage, formerly known as Beer Stop Beverage, on Route 309 this Friday from 1 to 3 p.m. for the Zero Carb Bud Light Next launch, and you could win a 4-pack Flyers tickets. Visit WMMR.com for details. Slash featuring Miles Kennedy and the Conspirators are back on the road in support of their new album, Title 4, which drops tomorrow. Slash spoke about the band's set list, which, unlike the early Conspirator gigs, features no dips into the Guns N' Roses or Velvet Revolver catalogs. They've built enough material on their own.
It's about time.
At first, they didn't. They had one album to go on, and that was it. So, in a new chat with Ultimate Classic Rock, Slash talked about keeping the set focused on Conspirators material. He said, "I have to admit, I really miss playing the Guns material when this thing first started. So." It was a great outlet for me. But having gotten back with all my buddies in Guns, after a while I was like, I don't really need to do that with Miles and company. So we don't have any Gun songs in the set. That said, I sort of miss the occasional Velvet Revolver song. So I haven't put any Velvet songs in the set as of yet. But I might at some point put one, at least just for the fun of doing it.
Any Maroon 5?
I don't think they're going to cover bands like that.
Okay.
No. Slash...
I literally want to jump off the building when I hear that.
Went on to talk about the vibe behind his setup with Kennedy and the Conspirators. He said, we don't have any kind of illusions of grandeur. We're not trying to be the biggest band in the world. We just like to go out and play. And so that's how this has been functioning all this time. But we've actually sort of built up a sizable fan base, and we've got our own thing going at this point that's sort of established. But it doesn't really change the way that we do things. So it's very easy, sort of a simple group, he said.
Did you guys know that Pierre had a conversation with Slash?
I did not.
Yeah, I don't know when it's going to air, but there was either yesterday or the day before, and I'm sure he can give us some details when he gets in. But yeah, apparently it was a really cool, what's that? Pancakes making noises.
To write down.
Too legit to quit. Okay, I got it.
Hey.
You can come in here,
Yeah.
Pancake.
2 p.m.
2 p.m. tomorrow.
Too legit to quit.
He was using hand signals, but they're not not our morning show hand
No,
signals.
that's a Pierre show signal.
First he said, cut it out.
Right. All right, Mick Jagger's.
Come on now.
Let me redo that. Mick Jagger's Former solo right-hand man, guitarist Jimmy Rip, says that he and Jagger recorded a full solo album with the late Charlie Watts. Rip revealed that the original version of Jagger's third album, 1993's Wandering Spirit, was recorded with the Stones drummer behind the kit.
When was this recorded?
In 1993.
Wow.
So Jimmy, who in 1988 handled guitar duties on Mick's one and only solo tour, hitting Australia and Japan, recalled working on the material. He said, Mick and I went to this big chateau in France. We had the Rolling Stones mobile truck come down and park in the parking lot. He and I and Charlie Watts, who lives not far away, the three of us recorded an entire version of Wandering Spirit, which for me is the best version of Wandering Spirit. Bassist Doug Wimbish came and played on a few tracks. I played bass on a lot of it and guitar, but that version of the record is blindingly great. A problem with it was that it sounded so much like a Rolling Stones record. He said it really sounds like a Stones record, to the point where sometimes I play it for people and they say, hey, have you ever heard these Stones outtakes? And they go, wow, how come they never put this out? And it's like, this is not a Stones record. But Mick, at the end of it, said, if I want to make a Rolling Stones record, I'll make that with the Rolling Stones. So they eventually recorded a new version of the album, and Jagger had remembered he and I there were a bunch of years. He and I, comma, there were a bunch of years when we were kind of inseparable, going everywhere and doing a lot of work together.
This is I wouldn't call it a liability, but it does happen. Like I remember when Brandon Flowers recorded his solo album, after doing the stuff with the Killers.
Yeah.
It sounded like a Killers album.
Yeah, it sounded too much like the band. He shed light on why the album was ultimately put on ice for several years. He said that his manager had talked to Keith Richards' manager, and they had set up a meeting for the two of them in Barbados. And maybe they recorded this in 1980, in the 80s, but didn't release it until the 90s.
Did you remember, or were you aware that Jagger had done a solo tour?
No. Mick said, I'm going to meet with Keith, and then if we get on all right, I'm going to make a Rolling Stones record. If it all blows up, we'll go do this record. And I was like, man.
Hot spit.
Yeah. Following the completion of Wandering Spirit, Jagger started work on Stone's 1994 Voodoo Lounge album, putting any plans for a solo tour on ice, with Rip and Jagger only making a handful of promotional appearances, including Saturday Night Live. All right, and then finally, Seven Dust has announced a second leg of their Animosity 21st anniversary tour, and there is a Philadelphia date. It will be May 11th, and they are playing the TLA. I don't have information on ticket sales handy, but I'm sure you can do a quick search and find out. They're also going to be in Harrisburg on May 10th, the night before. So those are a couple of shows in our area with Seven Dust.
I love that the TLA is still around.
Yeah.
It's a great venue.
I haven't been there in a long time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love knowing that it's there, and I saw many shows.
That's where I got to see Bill dressed as Scooby-Doo.
That's right.
What's going on with the truck? What's there now?
I don't know.
Is it just an empty
All
space?
that from what I have understood, it's the way it was. It's just not open, But I haven't heard anything that they're going to be doing with it. So
I'm sure the pandemic helped.
Right,
Yeah.
right. All right, and there you go. That's music news. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back in a second. We'll wrap it up. Letter of the day when we get back. Stay with us.
We kept in touch via email. He writes the most beautiful emails, and we've been in touch. We just did a talk at Lincoln Center the last week in New York. He loves the film, so that means a lot.
So it's a story of a family and a family going through changes, and it's a funny thing because a simple story told this way. Families can provide your greatest sense of support and love, and also your greatest conflict in life, and your greatest, your greatest issues to deal with, and that's what you were looking to explore with this, correct?
That's exactly it. Richard Ford sort of captured a duality where he was able to look at this hard situation with a lot of compassion, a lot of love. That's certainly how I, sort of grew up. We lived in a one-bedroom apartment in New York. My family was close, but probably too close. And when my parents struggled, we felt it, and it's sort of, I moved to a new town when I was 14 to enter high school. At that point in your life, home is sort of the edge of the world. I didn't yet have friends in that town. And so that is sort of what the film is trying to express. It's really about a kid seeing his parents change, their marriage change, and sort of just being like thrust suddenly into adulthood.
It's got to be wild.
You mentioned your partnership with Zoe Kazan, and she was here with you when you came in July of 2012 for Ruby Sparks, and you deferred to her, I guess, when it comes to the writing process. But what is that like when you have an idea and you really love your idea, and then you give it to somebody else, and they say that's not bad, but I'm going to take. Is it trust? Is it how do you get to a point where you're like, all right, her idea is better than mine?
Well, it's debilitating first.
You're crippled. What do you mean?
No. So in this case, it wasn't that somebody's idea is better. It was like, okay, this was my first time writing. Zoe is a proper writer. She's written plays that have gone up in New York. She's written screenplays that have been produced. She saw what I was trying to do, but was like, I can. And also, frankly, we just couldn't get through a note session because we live together, and you have to sort of protect the relationship from a certain amount of conflict. So I think she was like, why don't I just do a pass, because I think it's healthier for us than if we just fight through these notes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that turned out to be wonderful. And it sort of opened up our process, which was we would talk about the script for 2 or 3 hours, then one of us would take it for a few weeks and sort of do a pass. So we each had our own process. And at that point, once you're into it, you're fighting on behalf of the characters and the film, so you're not fighting each other. You know, somebody has an idea, you believe in it, you talk about it, you get into it, and then time sort of reveals the right direction.
Those moments, though, where you as a director, like you're not moving the camera a lot, and you're just kind of letting it happen. To me, that would be such a hand-wringing thing. How do I do this? How do I convey the subtlety of this? Were there a number of passes, or did you just instinctively say, this is the way it's got to be?
No, it was from day one a film that let's not move the camera if we don't have to for the moment. Let's not put score on it unless we have to. Let's sort of like...
let it breathe?
Yeah, and also just like leave them to hang out to dry almost, because you don't want to be reductive about something like this, something as complicated. My feeling is I've always loved the illusion of simplicity, like something that looks simple but is really not, and it was something I said to my crew even, was like, it's like we're trying to make a film that's like sushi. Like it looks simple.
Quiet moments.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's actually beautiful, and it's hard to make. And
Right.
I like
and
that.
you can kill people if you don't make it properly. So there you go.
Okay.
I like the analogy.
I love Mumford & Sons. They're like one of my favorite bands. Carey Mulligan is married to Marcus Mumford.
Yeah.
Did Marcus show up at all?
Oh, sure.
Did he?
Yeah, we hung. Yeah,
You made his day.
Yeah, we would go hit some golf balls, hang out. We were in Oklahoma. We were sort of in, I don't want to say the middle of nowhere, but...
You were in the middle of nowhere.
We were in the middle of nowhere.
Bum F. Bum F, as they call it.
And, but that's also one of the beauties about making a film on location is this feeling of like summer camp. So, Carrie and I have known each other forever. Jake and I have known each other, known Marcus forever. There's something nice about the only people you have to lean on are the people you're there working with, and it's super fun.
Right.
Are they a part of the soundtrack at all?
They are not.
Okay.
I do think they have a new record coming out soon.
They
though.
do.
I'm gonna
They
go.
do.
I watched a movie recently that you're in, Love and Mercy, about Brian Wilson, and it's an interesting movie. I didn't quite know what to expect. There are several different actors playing Brian Wilson in it. Can you talk a little bit about what that experience was like, and did you have a relationship or learn anything from Brian or talk to him about it?
Yeah, I think that's the best time I've ever had acting. Brian is a really special guy.
It's the story of Brian Wilson, by the way. And you play him as younger Brian Wilson around the time of the recording of Pet Sounds, and John Cusack plays him later on in life.
Yeah. For somebody who struggles so much, Brian, he's got an incredible amount of light inside of him. And frankly, studying that music for 6+ months was one of the greatest gifts I've had from work. I just felt so in love with what he's giving us through the spirit of this music, and I miss it.
It's a great movie, and I just saw your film after seeing a documentary called The Wrecking Crew, in which they sing. And I told Preston, and I think you've seen it since then.
Oh yeah.
And they talk about recording with Brian Wilson, and these guys, these were the top studio musicians. And they said, and then there's Brian Wilson.
Yeah.
And his genius level was off the charts. And I think the sequences where you're recording in the film, and you specifically, caught what I imagined, it would have been like outside of the documentary. It was an amazing performance.
That's very nice, yeah. And that's, frankly, we were in the studio that he actually recorded Pet Sounds in back in '65.
Wow.
And at that point, you're just trying to summon the spirits and let them pass through you, But that is so moving that these brilliant the Wrecking Crew, they were the best. They were the best session musicians in town.
Yep.
And Brian was their guy. They were like, that's the guy. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Hey, great to see you again. Congratulations. Thanks for coming by.
Thanks, guys.
Paul Dano, everyone. Speaking of scary movies, I did see this article, and believe it or not, it's from Cosmo. It's from Cosmopolitan Magazine.
That's all we read.
The most popular horror movie the year you were born.
Ooh, okay.
And this was kind of a bitch slap to you emotionally, wasn't it, Preston?
It starts 2 years after I was born.
Oh, man.
Yeah, there's a fire drill.
We have a flashing strobe in the studio. That's why. 1991 was Silence of the Lambs.
Yes.
I don't consider it a horror movie, but many do. So it was more suspense and
thriller.
And thriller, yeah, exactly.
It's a thriller. Scary. Pleasure to meet you, Dr. Lecter. I'll be working closely with you.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God. Let me out. Let me out. What's the problem? Let me out of here.
They finally found the thing that broke Lecter.
Just found your great cellmate.
Yeah.
Dr. Lecter. Holy Jesus. We're going to become fast friends. Oh, my God. What are you?
He's pounding on the glass.
Let me out!
He's trying to get to that opening where they put the food.
Why? Wait, what's wrong? I'm going to let my gloves dry out here on the end of the bed.
You didn't want to play quid pro quo with him?
Nothing, nah.
Yeah.
I got a better game, Twister.
Oh, my God. Well, 1991, it was the #1 horror film.
Let's play Pictionary.
1993. All right, here you go again. 1993. But I guess it would all depend on what was out that year. Go ahead. You want to guess?
You're not going to say Jurassic Park, are you?
No.
Okay.
No. But it was Fire in the Sky.
Wait, what was 92?
Did I skip 92?
I think so.
Turner and Hooch.
It's not on here. The Mystery Year, 1992.
What? They just skipped it?
Yeah, that's interesting.
It was a movie called Hannibal and Michael.
Oh,
let me out!
What is that music?
Oh no! Oh, you lead a deranged life.
Well,
I once
Candyman.
ate a census taker's liver with some fava beans and Chianti. I once had a Boy Scout Jamboree party at my house the entire weekend. Holy Christ. And it tasted good.
Oh, my God.
I sauteed them with Jesus juice. I change diapers on my monkey every day. Holy Christ. And I pitch some bottles and leave them around the house. And my nose comes off. Get me out of here!
Tickets. And thank you to Mr. Danny Briere.
Yay!
Of your Flyers. He's just moved up to special assistant to the general manager. He's like a stone's throw away from being a GM someday, maybe. And he's hoping to get some stuff going with the team. We'll see what happens. But it was nice. He's a good person, and we're happy for him. So it was nice to have him on. Pierre Robert is here. Hello.
Good day.
How are you?
Fine, thanks, kids.
Excellent. It's supposed to be really nice out. We haven't been out since before the sun came up, so I don't know.
It's very pleasant. Yeah, not bad at all. When you said 60, I had a hard time.
It's amazing.
Believing that in February. But then you said 30.
30, yeah. Yeah, we're doing
you could believe that.
I did believe that. Right. So I believed only 50% of what you told me.
Okay. Just make it the right 50%.
Okay. I'm trying to think about that.
I believed the
you believe the 30, but not the
60.
Yeah.
I wanted to
I'm good for about 50% worth of correct anyway.
Don't
so
do that
that's
to
about
yourself,
it.
man. Don't do that to yourself.
All good, brother.
Okay.
Yeah. How you doing?
Very good.
Excellent. Shall we get a letter from you today?
Yes.
All right, here we go.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
Now, the Daily Letter.
And the Preston and Steve Show, brought to you today by the letter
N as in no.
All right. We have a prize to give away. Keep track of that letter N as in no. Tomorrow it's a 2-night stay at Live Hotel.
Cool.
Plus a $300 dining credit to use at any Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia restaurant, including the Prime Rib, Sports and Social, or Luck Foo. And Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia, voted best overall gaming resort in Pennsylvania. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem, you can call 1-800-GAMBLER. So what's shaking today, man?
Well, tomorrow we will have, as Nick pointed out, a conversation with Slash at 2 p.m. So that's coming tomorrow. But today, a workforce box of proving it's everything that rocks. Metallica, Linkin Park, and Jimmy Buffett.
Wow, there you go.
And so why not, is what I say.
It's amazing Jimmy still makes the cut, but he does, I guess, right?
He does.
Yeah.
He does. And, Kathy was going for Slayer, but I, had a request for Jimmy Buffett, and I had to go that
Brought it
way.
back around.
Yeah.
Our buddy Bert Kreischer was hanging out with Buffett the other night. I don't know if he was opening for him and hosting an event where Buffett was appearing, but James ended up hanging out with Bert, and they were on Bert's Instagram account together. It was pretty interesting.
Wow.
And so Buffett just keeps going, man.
He does indeed.
Fascinating guy.
Yeah. It was the funny line I liked from that was he was recounting to Jimmy. He goes, "My wife asked me, do you think he'll play Margaritaville?" I love it.
No chance.
All right. I want to
Not
thank
doing any Guns songs on this tour.
I want to thank our sponsors. President Steve Show is brought to you today by Dunkin', the official coffee of the President Steve Show, and also Acme. Download the Acme app.
Yeah.
See your all-new deals, rewards, and perks today. Visit acmemarkets.com for details. And thank you to Acme again for dropping off that great package of flowers and wine and chocolate and all this stuff that they have there for Valentine's Day. So they have 12 long stem roses for $21.99. Strawberry shortcake heart cake for $8.99, and 6-count fresh dipped chocolate covered strawberries for $8.99. So thank you guys. We appreciate that care package. It was very nice. Tomorrow for your Friday, we will have as a guest from Saturday Night Live, Punky Johnson.
Oh, cool. I like her.
Yeah. So we will do that, and we'll do our Friday things.
Yeah, it's what we do.
Wrap it up and have beautiful weather and all that good stuff. So that's it. We are done. Rage on and have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.